done if they don't make excuses.
Whining, crying, flopping, dropping, whining, crying, flopping, dropping, whining, crying, flopping, dropping, flopping, dropping, flopping and dropping, whining, crying, flopping, dropping, whining, crying, flopping, dropping, whining, crying, flopping and dropping, flopping and dropping, flopping and dropping.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's AOH, and I'm joined by Steam Engine and the real Siberius. Say hello, gentlemen.
After you, Siberius, please.
I was going to say, we're about to be too polite and not fucking talk.
Let me cut you off. Hold on, Siberius. Let me match the Robin energy. Shout out to Antarctica. Shout out to Area 51. Pluto. Everybody that's votes Democrat. Shout out to people that can do 5 to 7 pull-ups. Shout out to Robin. Shout out to Dart. Shout out to the chat. I have been drinking for the last 45 minutes and doing pre-workout. I'm doing my best to do what Robin does. Shout out to the crowd. Go ahead, Tiberius. Follow that.
What's going on, everyone? That's all you get. You stole my thunder.
Aww. Spam, you intimidated him into being quiet.
Yeah, I never get that opportunity, Siberius. I apologize for intimidating you.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're too polite.
Hello, everyone. If you may or may not have seen, we have a long list of topics to get through today, and we will get to them. Shout out to everybody in the chat as Steam Engine was trying to replicate sports and fitness. You said yourself you were trying to take the place of Robin. How are you going to call me an asshole for repeating what you just said? Just shut up.
Clock's ticking. Come on.
Anyway, sports and fitness rants is actually recalibrating, as LeBron would say, with his family. He's actually out with his family. And unlike LeBron James, sports and fitness rants actually took his family with him during the family recalibration. Feel free to say something interesting at all, Speam.
Shout out to Newman. Go ahead and pull that BS thing back up, please. Shout out to Newman. What? You're such a douche. I'm not Richard Jefferson. Let's just keep going, please.
Just read shit.
Shout out to the real Siberius. It's about to get serious. Shout out to Kundi _918.
Anyway, I have before we get to my topics and Speam's topics, we're going to start today off with what Siberius has on the plate. Siberius, I can't see, do you have, is it the LeBron Forced?
Yeah.
Okay. Siberius has a clip that he's about to share. So introduce it. What are we about to watch, Siberius?
So everybody's seen that really short clip of LeBron saying, there's no party like a Diddy party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was an edited clip. And in the extended version, which is right here, he forces Bronny to get onto a video chat with Diddy. And you can tell that that Bronny didn't want to. And then you can see LeBron grab him from the side and force him to be on camera. And I just thought that, that really highlights what a great father he is. And I think everybody should be aware of it.
Grabbing a child and forcing him onto camera sounds almost like they were at a Diddy party. Or the White House.
I was gonna make that joke. That sounds like pretty much the entire administration in a nutshell. Grabbing kids and putting them in places they don't want to be. That sounds pretty accurate.
All right, here we go.
so ain't no party like a Diddy party. So
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
I see you, King. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
Real quick, shout out to Lanetta402. I think we're all uncomfortable watching it, so I can only imagine how it is experiencing that.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I was gonna say one of my subscribers sent that to me because we had been talking about it in my Discord about how they pretty much tried to scour the internet to get that part erased from the internet, but it obviously still exists, and it's disgusting. But that was all. I mean, it's not even a huge talking point, just a disgusting video I wanted to share that shows LeBron for who he really is.
So real quick, Siberius, to your point, like, yeah, it's a small thing, but at the same time, it just goes to show that media edits all this information to make it appear different than how it actually is, right? It's
Absolutely.
like when you film, you're a movie buff, when you film a whole movie, how they edit it isn't exactly how it was filmed. So we're actually just kind of seeing that in real life. So I think even though you're saying it's not a big deal, I never knew that took place. So I think that's the entire point. Like, that's the entire reason we're here, right? To highlight, like, no, like the gross, seedy underbelly of LeBron James's life. It's out there. You just have to kind of go out there and find it and put it together like a puzzle.
Held hostage, just like the Lakers. Good one, Go Fly. A poorly applied near naked chokehold.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're wearing pink, and it wasn't even 2009 and 10 or whenever that was just like a huge push for a little while. Remember, LeBron wore pink during his decision video.
The first one?
Yeah, the Miami one.
Oh, I don't remember that. I just always remember the glasses with no lenses. That'll always be to me the pinnacle of fashion.
Remember when Jordan Crawford dunked on LeBron and Nike tried to confiscate the tape? Who remembers that? Tell us about it.
I'm pretty sure Siberius, didn't you? I mean, I remember it, but Siberius, I think you did a video on it, right? It took place in one of his camps, and Nike immediately had it taken down, like, pretty much overnight.
It did. What was also hilarious about that, so I just made a short on it. It was like maybe a 10-second clip. And when I posted it, YouTube flagged it as violent.
the clip we just watched with him hugging his son was more violent than that and more problematic.
But I thought it was funny that they flagged it, and I had to appeal it to be able to post it online. I mean, they got back to me relatively quickly, but just the fact that, I mean, he got humiliated, but like, I wouldn't call it violent.
Dana Green says, AOH, have you seen LeBarbi's beard in his Humvee lately in his dance vlogs? Humvee? Like he's driving a Humvee in 2026?
I know exactly, yeah.
Oh my God.
The rumor is that he was driving through Cleveland, and it was supposed to be this clever callback to when he was in high school. And you know how his mom purchased that Hummer by illegal means, but everyone tried to say it was legit. Supposedly it was supposed to be this little clever way of saying he's going back to Cleveland, which, you know, I guess Brian Winded Horse is saying isn't the case anymore.
Well, I guess that'll give me the segue to the first topic. I listened to the basketball show for Sound Bites and several other people for Sound Bites, and I thought it was interesting the contrast between the take that Uncommon Sense had and the take that the basketball show had after hearing Steph Curry's words. on the golf course. Are you guys familiar with Steph Curry's words on the golf course?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Uncommon Sense took the last half of Curry's sentence and concluded that he was, in fact, recruiting LeBron. And the Basketball Show concluded that he was saying, no, thanks, but no thanks. Very interesting that two conclusions could be drawn from the same sentence. I'll add more, but what are you guys' initial reactions?
Well, so it's funny because I made a video on that, and my conclusion was that he wants to join the Warriors, and that it sounded to me from that clip that Curry was all on board for it.
So the vibe that I got was that he was dismissing the question and just being, polite, because I don't think Curry's for it. I think that there's a reason most reporters don't flat out ask him directly whether or not he wants to play with LeBron. And I think him kind of segueing into this, I'd rather golf with him, tells you kind of everything you need to know, Siberius. I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit in the sense that I think that him changing the subject that quickly to, well, I don't want to talk about him playing basketball, but I do want to talk about him playing golf, was just like the polite way of saying, I'm not even inserting myself into this. You know what I mean? I think he's too laid back. That's been one of the detriments to his name, right? That he's too laid back. That's what makes him an ineffective leader. I don't think he wants to play with LeBron, and I think he just doesn't want to make waves by saying that.
The only reason, because I understand exactly what you're saying,
and it is over.
So I don't mean to cut you off. It just auto starts. Go ahead.
No, I know.
Keep going. Go ahead.
When someone asked Curry before about playing with LeBron, he said, "I'm good now." Essentially saying, did he say no? No, he did not. But "I'm good now" is essentially saying I don't want to play with him. So to me, there's something about it that hits different. I agree. He did kind of immediately change the subject. He talked about free agency, LeBron's free agency in golf. He wasn't I totally understand what you're saying, but I don't know. It felt like there was something more to it.
What is it that so was it the verbiage that makes this seem different to you? Like, was it his mannerisms? What? Because I feel like he's been approached this with this so many times.
Conversation. So he talks about the golf stuff, and then he says, "I would love to play with him. We'll see if we can make it happen."
Yeah, but those comments remind me of when he said, "I'm good right now." He also followed that up by saying, obviously, it'd be great to play with one of the greats. But the Basketball Show's conclusion was Curry's corporate, like he usually says things that are safe. We all know that you can't outright decline LeBron James without getting backlash. The media would be going after Steph Curry right now for disrespecting King James if he had been any more bold with his rejection. For those reasons, I'm agreeing with Speem and with the Basketball Show. But why don't we play the clip so people watching.
Gross ass man. Oh.
Yeah, and so I'm using Uncommon Sense's video here. He's got a nice introduction, which we're going to enjoy, and then we'll get to some talking points that his introduction alone has, and then play the Curry soundbite.
Let's get it.
It is over, and it is over because LeBron James, as is his custom, made his own decision. It wasn't forced upon him.
You lying?
LeBron James has informed the Los Angeles Lakers that he is moving on.
They don't look up to LeBron anyway.
I don't feel like LeBron is beloved in LA. I don't even think he's really appreciated. It was not the kind of moment that Kobe had.
Damn. Stop what you're doing for a second, because we are witnessing the end of one of the most defining eras in NBA history.
I like you, man. You lie a lot.
He told the Lakers that they can move on with their business this offseason because he will be playing his 24th NBA season elsewhere. So
Get out of
here, LeBron. Go back to LA.
He's funny.
Come New York with that LeBron. LeBron, you never beat Jordan. You never beat Jordan, my Oh, Kobe, you bum. Oh, Kobe, you bum. Out here.
I always intend to only play a small part, but the intro is so good, I play more of it. God, we have plenty of talking points just from that intro. But let me get to Steph Curry here, and shout out to Uncommon Sense, whose video I'm poaching.
The National Basketball Association, free agency trades left and right. There's one free agent out there, LeBron James, and he's shown some interest in being a golden.
Look at Steph's face. He's like, I'm trying to fucking golf, dude.
That's why he looked down. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
That's why he looked down.
He's like, really? Can we all agree it's a no-win situation when you're asked about LeBron James? Because you're not allowed to be honest. You heard all the victimhood clips in the introduction. Like, it's just been nonstop victimhood propaganda coming from Klutch media. How dare the Lakers treat him this way, and how dare Ric Bucher call it as it is, and so on and so forth. You can't. I mean, Steph Curry doesn't even call out Aisha, and she deserves it. So,
oh man, that's a topic in itself.
State Warrior potentially. Any idea or comment on that idea of playing with LeBron James?
Say more so, I'm interested to just play golf with LeBron.
See?
I mean,
there you go.
Yes, he does ruin that first part with the second part, but that initial answer, I think that the fact that that is his initial answer says a lot.
Can I tell you what I think of when I hear that response? It's like, if you're, and this is not a personal experience of mine before you make fun of me, because I know you will, like, if you're going through a rough time in your dating life, right? And you're, I don't know, like one of your friends tries to hook you up with a girl and you're like, yo, is she fine? And they're like, well, she has a great personality. Like, that's
she has
that
great
response.
Soul.
Yeah. That's even better. She has a Bronny James-like soul. So that means to me that, I'm probably not going to find her attractive. That's what Steph Curry's doing right there. He's doing the ugly girl thing to LeBron James. Do you want to play with him? I mean, I kind of want to golf with him, and he's a great father. Just a safe response. That's exactly what that is.
I don't even think he wants to golf with him. I mean, can you imagine hanging out with LeBron James? You would have to compliment every swing and make him feel better anytime he sliced it.
He's such a shitty golfer. I mean, I've only seen, a few clips of it because I'm not trying to watch it, but he is fucking bad.
Oh, see, because Klutch Sports has been reporting that he's great. And
yeah, that's not the case. Okay.
All right.
Just like his career, there's absolutely no evidence of that. Like, if you watch the video, it says the opposite.
But more importantly, we haven't even made it through the intro yet. That's how sad this is.
All right, let's go.
I know the basketball stuff, but I want to see the golf LeBron free agent. He's out here really grinding on the game, but I'm sure, we obviously would love to play together. Hopefully it happens. I'm sure, we obviously would love to play together. Hopefully it happens.
This feels weird. Are you?
Now, you see, Uncommon played that second part repeatedly because he took it as Steph wants to play with him. Now, look,
shout out to anybody in the comments who know what movie that is, by the way, from that clip. Go ahead. I'm my bad, AOH.
Let's play some more of that movie clip because I know which one it is.
Are you sure this is legal?
But
I love that movie.
That should have given it away.
Yep. I love that movie.
He's deserved the opportunity and the right to take his time with the decision.
That may be grosser than the part right before it.
Getting better, so you might have some competition. Best of luck.
What are you, sissy? You need a purse?
All right, people. There you have it.
What a great Kingpin reference, man.
Yeah. Hey, Uncommon's bringing it with his extra editing effort. Siberius, are you standing on Curry truly wants it.
I mean, I absolutely see how people could see it either way. I guess the thing that I struggle with is I mean what I say and I say what I mean. And I just want other people to stand the same fucking way. I just look back and I think in the 80s and 90s, if LeBron was back then and he was the shit heap that he is, do you think Barkley, Bird, Olajuwon, Magic, Jordan, do you think any of them are going to hold back and say, oh, well, it'd be great to play with them? They'd be like, no, I'm not playing with that bitch.
AOH, shout out to full Venom Jacket. AOH, can you find the comment that says LeBron Munsoned himself when he went to Miami? And please post that, because I am very under the influence and I can't even give that the laughter that it deserves. That is funny as heck. That's genius.
I can't find it, but you read it.
Venom
That's
Jacket.
good.
That's
Okay.
Oh man, that's such a great comment.
So, I mean, I can see it both ways. I certainly can. And was he being dismissive? Yes. Was he kind of dodging the question? Yes. But if you mean no, just say no. Like, how fucking hard is that?
I agree with you. And we talk about accountability and just, say what you mean, do what you say. But we don't live in that time anymore. And that sounds like I'm making an excuse for Curry, but there's actual fucking backlash. There's actual backlash in your career for, I don't know. I thought he was going to get in trouble for saying I'm good right now.
I think the last major, before we switch topics, whenever you guys are ready, I think the last major media member to openly comment on LeBron in a negative fashion was Charles Barkley, when he said, how many Hall of Famers does he need? How many legends does he need? And he couldn't even get off his own set without Shaq getting defensive and saying, well, what do you mean? And like, he just wants to win, blah, blah, blah. So, he's protected, and you have to have a pretty much Charles Barkley-like level of fame or tenure to be able to say something with minimal backlash. When we get to Ric Bucher, he's a prime example. Unfortunately, everything he says, I agree with, and everything he says is true, but he doesn't have the quote-unquote following or whatever. Like, he doesn't have the cachet to speak on it, even though he thinks exactly how we do. So I think it's just a matter of making yourself powerful enough to be able to speak on it without having to worry about repercussions. And unfortunately, because Steph Curry still actively wants to win, because he actively wants to win, he has to walk on eggshells. I think if he didn't care, if he just wanted to kind of go through the motions with the Warriors, I think he would speak freely about it. But I think he really wants another chip. I think it's a strength to me, even though it sucks that he has to bite his tongue. I do think it shows his character that he doesn't want to speak on it. And I think that does show that he still wants to win. That's the vibe that I get.
It's interesting. We want him to be more bold, yet you could also call it taking the high ground by not bothering to diss him the way that the Lakers organization also allowed LeBron to leave with some dignity. And Ric Bucher called that out. Ric Bucher was like, props to the Lakers for allowing LeBron to leave with some dignity, or the illusion that it was his choice. But everyone else always has to take the high road and act like the adult, because LeBron James is the child in the room who's going to get butt hurt and throw a goddamn tantrum. And he's got an entire media force to back up his tantrum. So maybe you have, I don't know. I've gone on about this long enough. What do people think? What's the final verdict, vote? Steph want to play with LeBron, or does he just feel pressured to give a polite answer?
I'm still leaning more towards pressure. No question.
I would agree.
I don't think he wants to play with him. No question. He's too nice. I mean, look how his wife treats him. He's too nice.
He might be too nice. Now, I do have a fantasy that it's not just LeBron going to Cleveland, but Draymond also going to Cleveland. I think that was also in an Uncommon video that they're having Bronny and LeBron go, and Draymond's going to go. And that's part of Draymond not taking his existing contract. God, that would be great. And I feel sorry for Cleveland fans, and I'm sorry for Donovan Mitchell and anyone else who wanted their own time in the NBA that's going to be destroyed by LeBron going there. But Draymond Green and LeBron on the court together, you want to talk about entertainment. I can't wait to see that relationship disintegrate in front of our eyes.
I think that LeBron has avoided playing with Draymond his entire career deliberately because he knows that it won't work. Oh, shout out to your boy Kevon Looney. You know, I was always a big fan of him. I believe the Lakers signed him. Did they not?
No, did they?
I'm pretty sure they did.
I haven't even heard.
I could be making that up, but I swear I saw his name in a headline.
Are you talking about
the Lakers?
Are you talking about Kuminga?
No. I swear I saw Kevon Looney's name and let me look it up. Hold on.
Wow, I didn't hear Looney's name all last season. Where is he returning from the dead from? So let me take a crap on 95.7 local Bay Area radio because a lot of people say that this was leverage, that Rich Paul was simply using the Lakers for leverage to get what was already the scripted outcome of LeBron going to Cleveland. 95.7 did Rich Paul's bidding for him because Bay Area sports media has just been nonstop. Are we getting LeBron or not? Are we getting what's the holdup? And it's disgusting, and I'll never forgive them for it. Whether some people actually want LeBron here or not, let's understand that you did exactly what Rich Paul wanted you to do, and you should be ashamed of that alone. Which will bring us to the next point that Bill Simmons said that LeBron always knew he was going to Cleveland. It's a done deal, and all the rest of this has just been show and drama. Now, some of us like the idea that LeBron is actually homeless, and this is all smoke screen to make it seem like he's wanted while they desperately try to talk someone into signing him. It's possible, and that's a nice idea. But the thing is, we've seen LeBron James do this to franchises over and over and over and over and over again. He already knew it was happening. He already had it arranged. He's already been conspiring with other players, with the management, and we find out years later that it was already a done deal. What else has happened in those scenarios? We've also watched LeBron James basically give up or give lackluster effort and leave the team for dead in the playoffs or even trying to get to the playoffs. And next thing you know, what do you know? LeBron was already planning on leaving, and you could see it on the court. You saw it against Boston in the playoffs before he went to Miami. You saw it when he got swept embarrassingly against the Warriors and was on his way to LA. And it's a little bit harder to tell nowadays in LA because every game that he plays, he looks like dog shit. So it's hard to differentiate that kind of dog shit from the other dog shit games. But I think that there's a very big possibility that this was already planned and he's just manipulating the script so that the media is always on him. And for the sake of the documentary, they will perpetuate the lie that everybody wanted him at age 41, when in fact they didn't.
You AOH, you said it right there. And some people in the chat did confirm Kevon Looney to the Lakers. Thank you, chat. You said it right there. The documentary piece. He's not even hiding. He's not hiding the manipulation anymore. They used to kind of walk around it, but they're actively filming his documentary as we speak. So there's no hiding it anymore. It's just whether or not people want to have common sense enough to critically think about what they're being told, which I think everyone here knows is no longer the case. People don't critically think, right? They just get the information and they say, oh, that sounds good. Let's run with it. But now there's no arguing it anymore. If you're actively filming a documentary, right, then you have to know that he's positioning himself very strategically. A person who's only done things strategically, or what he thinks is strategically, since his first day in the league, that's never going to change. So why would it change now when he can't rely on, think about it, he can't rely on basketball anymore to stay relevant. So what's the next thing for him? Narrative. That's what's been getting him by for what, the last 15 years? Just the narrative of him. No, not the basketball. If you sit and watch a LeBron James mixtape, it's not enjoyable basketball. People talk about the narrative. They talk about where he's going. They talk about his son. They talk about all the bad stuff. It's rarely ever about basketball. So it's clear as day what's taking place. You know what I mean?
Siberius, thoughts?
Excuse me.
I mean, I absolutely think it's smoke and mirrors. When he went to Miami, that was orchestrated years before he actually went, because they needed to clear up the cap space. They needed to make those moves in order to make that happen. So it wouldn't be surprising at all if every other team, talking about the 76ers, I mean, even though their GM did beg LeBron to come there, which was disgusting, I think it's still... Who would want LeBron on their team? I mean, especially someone within basketball. I mean, maybe they're not watching the games. I think they've all proven many times they don't actually watch. They watch highlights and they just follow along the narratives that other people have created for them to say. So it's possible that the 76ers are not aware of what LeBron is doing on the court and think, oh, he can help us.
That is a sad, sad reality to have to accept, that they don't watch how detrimental he is to the team. But the sadder reality is that they're willing to accept that for the drama, as people increasingly embrace that this is about that this is about entertainment at any cost, even if it hurts the game and eventually destroys the league. Because reporters in the past, quite different from what Stephen A. Smith does, simply had to report on the game that took place and the battle that took place, and that was entertaining enough because the battle was entertaining. You didn't have to come up with these side scripts and these excuses for failure.
Well, and which would be more disgusting? The 76ers being well aware of how terrible LeBron is and still wanting him on the team, or they don't watch the game at all and they're just buying into the lies and narratives, because it has to be one of the two.
The other thing that's not being talked about, though, and maybe the saddest part of all, is that he's desperately flinging his name out there to any team that's interested. Even if you do consider him the greatest of all time, even if you're one of those psychopaths that does consider him the GOAT, how do you not see this as maybe the worst closing act of a career ever? Even if you think he's great, how do you not see him as like the dude, and again, this is not a personal experience, whatever, as the dude that waits till 2:30 in the morning and sees whatever female's available and grabs them up just because they're available and it's 2:30 in the morning? That's exactly what's happening right now. Even if he's your GOAT, how do you not see the desperation and the sadness in that? I'm seeing it in the comments. Everyone's talking about Philly. Him going to the Sixers makes zero sense. Narrative-wise, career-wise, anything. It is based on, well, they're still willing to talk to him. I mean, the teams that are involved because they're still willing to deal with him. That is the definition of desperation. And if this is your closing act, which it should be, how do you not view that as incredibly sad and desperate?
I'm not sure Bob Myers doesn't have some sort of ties with Klutch, because years ago when he was trying to become an NBA analyst and sit up there on those panels, he was saying some pretty gross ass-kissing LeBron stuff. And this is someone who was a part of the franchise that humiliated LeBron James, except for the one rigged time that they met together.
Yeah.
So for Bob Myers to put forth a fake pitch on Rich Paul's show or Max Kellerman's show sounds like it's part of a side business that he's involved in, more so than actually what the 76ers want or need. Now, someone said,
I would completely agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that it was just another piece in the puzzle. Because if you watch it, because I've watched it a few times, I don't know why, but it does sound like a hollow pitch. It doesn't, like, he's not impassioned about it. It's not like, if somebody was trying to recruit Jordan, it just sounds like meaningless words, like it always sounds like when it comes to LeBron.
Let's talk about his family for a minute. And someone in the chat said that he wanted to stay in LA, and that's actually pretty believable too, because he spent all that money building a house, like a customized house. I know these guys are rich and throw around money in ways that are hard for us to imagine, but he built a dream home according to specific customization. That doesn't sound like he wanted to leave. And also the excuses of him being interested in what's best for him and his family. Well, where does his family fit into constantly moving? Like, people actually believe that he has his family's best interests in mind to go to Cleveland. Like, I always mention his daughter because she's young and probably has school-aged friends. But even Bronny and Bryce would have friends in the LA area by now, just different age groups. And why would you? I'm sorry, no offense to Cleveland, but if you like LA, I doubt if Cleveland's gonna appeal to you that much, or Philly, for that matter.
I mean, Cleveland is the number one city for a lot of things, but none of them are for reasons you'd want to live there.
Yeah, as the resident Pittsburgh guy, there's not a lot in Cleveland. I can tell you that firsthand. And Savannah James was just on some trashy podcast talking about how much she enjoyed her time in Miami. So and we know she's not above playing the game as well.
Yeah.
I'm neglecting some super chats. Eyal Sabag, thank you. Always comes through with the supers. I heard Giannis begging LeBron to come to Miami. Very disappointing. But then again, if he goes to Miami, they probably getting to the play-in. I didn't hear Giannis begging him, so I'm not sure what soundbite that's referencing. Do you guys know?
No,
I haven't heard that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I haven't heard it.
Be about the only way to get the two of them on the court together, since LeBron avoids Giannis like the plague.
I think Giannis. Go ahead. My bad. Anyways, go ahead.
I just was rethinking Eyal, and if you want to put in chat the quote or a summary of the quote, we'll read it and talk about it some more. But I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Giannis begging.
I can't imagine. I don't want to discredit that, but Giannis has always made himself seem like somebody who does not want to team up to win a ring. So I would be very surprised if that was the case. That being said, I do think that the NBA should be very scared of the Greek Freak, of Giannis ever turning heel, of ever turning into a bad guy, because I think if that were ever to happen, I think it completely reshapes the East. It completely reshapes basketball. He's one of my favorite basketball players of all time. I wish he would have played in a different era. I mean, I collect his sneakers. I have his jersey around here somewhere. I love everything he's about, because he's like this true, like, coming up from nothing kind of story. And I can't imagine him having the mindset of wanting to join LeBron. If anything, I remember about like 5 or 6 seasons ago, he was very adamant about not wanting to train with other primetime players. He wanted to do it by himself. So that would be a little disappointing.
When Dame came to Milwaukee, which is still weird to me, didn't he give a Steph Curry-ish response? Like, it was polite, but it wasn't like, absolutely, this is what I wanted, or am I wrong? Or was he like, no, this is finally, thank God?
You mean, I don't even remember Dame having like a really big response to it at all. And, you know, lo and behold, he just ends up back in Portland anyways. But do you remember when LeBron brought Dame he brought him out in front of a crowd, in front of an LA crowd, I believe. Do you remember he brought Dame Lillard out? No. And it was back when it was during free agency, and it was like it created this whole, well, are LeBron and Dame going to join up? It was another media circus. So I don't know. All of these dudes are for sale. I'm seeing, and it's disheartening.
Mr. Shanny, finally getting to your super. Thank you very much for your generous super chat. It's almost set up for him to only be able to make the veteran minimum for whatever team he joins. He will have to suffer the shame of making less money than Flopper Jr. Remind me, what's the veteran minimum?
Actually, I don't know. Is it at least 7 figures?
I think it's 2 or 3 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. That's insane.
So I was looking into it. I just did some Google searching, and I actually found, I can't find a specific clip of it, but I found multiple sources talking about Giannis really wants LeBron to join Miami.
That's disappointing.
Well, then again, depending on who wrote that, we've been told that everyone really wants LeBron to join them.
Right.
Doesn't make it true.
But it's interesting whenever we get to Stephen A and you talk about sources, you never hear this from the players directly. Unless they're represented by Klutch, you almost never hear from them directly they want to play with LeBron. It's always from Shams or Stephen A or Kendrick Perkins or somebody that quote unquote has these sources, but you never hear it from them directly. And that tells you everything you need to know.
Y'all followed that up with another super. Thank you very much. He said, Eddie TV showed a clip where someone told Giannis LeBron signed with Cleveland, and he was devastated. We'll see. There's some flaws. LeBron has not signed with Cleveland, unless this is breaking news. Like, it's all still rumors. So how could Giannis be devastated by something that isn't true? I don't know. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just trying to make sense of this and whether it's rumors or what. Anyway, I'd actually really enjoy if Giannis just became a complete asshole and set out to destroy people, because
I mean, that's what people want Victor Wembanyama to do. That's what I like about Victor Wembanyama. He doesn't care. Like, he just wants to go out there and win.
He needs to put on some Giannis muscle.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But again, that's a player like Giannis who comes into the league super skinny, right? Has all these challenges. What does he do? He goes in the gym. He puts on weight. He learns to play in the paint, and now he's the most dominant paint presence in the East, maybe in the league. I bring up Steph Curry all the time. Early career, riddled with ankle injuries. What does he do? He strengthens his ankles, okay? And now he's this 3-point machine. He goes in the paint. He gets hammered. What's he do? He puts on actual muscle mass, not the LeBron James muscle mass, not the roid boils and all that. Like I've seen Steph shave his. Now I've seen him shave his beard. I know he doesn't have all these facial deformities from steroids, right? Like he puts in the work. You see the work, and you never hear him talking about spending $7 million a night on his body or anything like that. You see him put in the work. You watch his highlights, you watch him play, you see to me, he's my favorite ambassador of basketball, probably since Kobe, right? And he never gets the credit for it. But you see the work. You see the work with Giannis. I think we're going to see the work with Victor, right? We didn't see the work with LeBron. We just saw him take shortcuts. And that's why it's really easy to root against him, because the dude who's the most outspoken about never taking a shortcut takes the most shortcuts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. USC Trojans own with a super chat. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. Keep the super chats coming in. Unashamed plea from AOH. LeBron got his behind popped by Diddy. Why does the media cover it up? Well, the media covers up for a few people. If they, I don't know, if they have the money, the power, we can debate exactly how that happens a lot. Oh, here's Eyal Sabag with an update. I'm going to keep questioning all of your supers so that you'll keep correcting them with more supers. My apologies. I failed to mention that guy was joking with Giannis, was pulling his leg, and Giannis fell for it. Oh. Well, God, if it's true, what can I say except for that's disappointing, Giannis?
Yeah.
If LeBron goes to the East, that will be that many more games that LeBron will sit out, because being in the East, they should be scheduled to face each other more often.
Oh, that's interesting. That I wonder if he factors that into his decision making. Like, okay, if I play in the East, how often do I have to play against Giannis? But if I play in the West, how often do I have to get to play against Wembanyama? But this is what happens when you don't get better at basketball. You're going to start hitting these roadblocks.
Let me read my list. The list has gotten longer, but here's the list that I had published. We're going to try and get to these. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we already went over how it's possible for people to derive completely different conclusions from Steph Curry's response to the rumor, or to whether or not Curry would like LeBron to come to the Warriors. I also wanted to shit on Derek Fischer. Another soundbite from the basketball show was talking about Anderson Varejao having integrity.
Talk about clowns.
I've got a lot of Ric Bucher content to go through, because I first was just going to shout him out for a rather eloquent monologue he did talking about why he does this. And he, as opposed to these entertainment propaganda reaction seeking people like Stephen A. Smith. And, he's in it for the sport and for the truth, not to distract people with nonsense, which I thought was very relatable for people like us who have channels like ours, because we're out here because we got sick and tired of seeing the lies. And we're here not for profit and not to just put up crazy headlines and get clicks. We're here to counter all the bullshit being put out by the people that I just described.
For sure.
And someone mentioned that Ric Bucher disappeared shortly after he revealed that Klutch Sports was contacting people like him to try and sway their MVP voting.
Wow. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Listen, Ric Bucher is good at what he does, but you barely see him anymore. And now he's been reduced to his own private productions. And we need to support his shows if we actually believe in it.
Well, so one thing I found. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. I was just going to read the rest of the list, but we can stay on this.
One thing I found interesting about Ric Bucher, because I've always respected part of his opinion, but lately I'm respecting all of his opinion. When he was on the other shows, he would constantly tell the truth, but then find a way to glaze LeBron.
So he's guilty of what Steph Curry and everyone does when they're on a platform like that.
Absolutely. And I get, that's actually a solid point about when you're on those programs, you probably are, I don't know, contractually obligated to, find a way to shoehorn in compliments for LeBron, because ever since he's had his own channel, which, I like to watch, like his YouTube channel, he's not doing that anymore. He's just being completely upfront and honest about his thoughts, about his analysis, which I think he's one of the only analysts that you can say analyzes. He's not, a narrativist like all of these other guys. I've gained a lot more respect for him, and I had respect for him before, but I really feel like since he's moved out onto his own, he's a lot more relatable, understandable, and, holding people more accountable.
I think it's worth noting that he also usually does it in a pretty respectful manner or a respectable manner.
That's it.
He doesn't do things that I do, because I'll admit I become unprofessional and I take shots at these people because I'm sick of their clownness. And it's not like Ric Bucher makes anything up or bases his shows on rumors. He just speaks the facts. And it's enough, and that alone is enough to get Klutch Sports to retaliate against him. Like Shannon Sharp got his crew of ass kissers together to team up and do a reaction to Ric Bucher, which we may get to that today.
AOH, I don't know if you want to use this as a segue moving into Stephen A, but that you said it right there. Professionalism. Ric Bucher can disagree with somebody, but be completely professional about it. Stephen A, one of the biggest disappointments with Stephen A in just a professional life full of disappointment, as far as I'm concerned. Siberius, you mentioned this as well, is that now that he has his own platform, you would think that somebody as outspoken as he is would switch up how he conveys his message. But the irony is even though he has his own platform, the information exchange is exactly the same. He still starts all of his statements off with, just let me start this with, I don't, with Draymond Green specifically, I love the bro. He's great. I love him. Yeah. He even on his own platform, he still opens with something that he loves about somebody, and then just proceeds to repeat the exact same thing that he said on ESPN. The difference is he swears more, his shirt is a little tighter, and he changes the filter to make himself seem more vascular, which I think I might start doing myself, because I guess that's what importance looks like. It's a facade. It's the same information, except it's a different platform, and it's just painted a little bit differently. That's the most disappointing thing, because Stephen A, and I said this last week, Stephen A has the power to actually impact change within sports, but all he does is use it to prop himself up and fight these weird, like, feminine Sex in the City storyline battles with grown men, and it's such a waste of everybody's time. But that's what gets him up in the morning.
Musical interlude before we move into the next segment.
I need more booze. I'll be right back.
Siberius, you see any comments you want to read? I'm reading only the super chats. I'm focused on them today, but if you want to read anyone else, go ahead.
Let's see here.
Also on my list for the show, What's with the relentless tampering or things that are borderline tampering, such as everything that Rich Paul does? I wanted to shit on Kelvin Washington being an absolute clown.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually do have on my list making fun of Stephen A. Smith, the king of clowns. Well, besides LeBron James being the king, the actual king of clowns.
Is Kelvin Johnson the dude that looks like Steph Curry, like that's had a rough life? He's like light skinned. Actually, AOH, maybe you can't answer that. I'll look it up myself. Never mind.
He's on the Odd Couple.
Kelvin Washington, not Kelvin. What did you say?
Yeah,
Kelvin. You said Kelvin Johnson. No.
Okay, never mind.
I don't know who that is. What are you drinking today, Spain?
White Claw, like a man.
Oh my God, I can't believe
Go ahead. Say
you had the
offensive.
nerve to make a Sex in the City remark about Stephen A. Smith, and you walk in the room with
Loud and proud, brother. Loud and proud. I don't care. I don't drink. Who cares?
Let's play another Uncommon Sense intro.
Instead of saying why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And Cleveland, this is for you.
You lying? I'm averaging a triple double in the finals. I'm pretty good.
What does it matter? We just want a cookie for it? I mean, what is it?
LeBron can never come back. He's one of our own. He's from Akron. He has a tattoo of loyalty on his body. And he ignored that to go chase the championship with Chris Bosh in Miami. He follows Chris Bosh.
What are you, sissy? You need a purse?
I love how there's just silence as he goes.
I hope you rot in hell, you loser! You suck!
He's what is called a born loser. A real Munson.
Oh, Siberius, did you find any supers or any comments? Otherwise, I'm going to put back up the other video.
I was looking, but I'm stupid today. I apologize.
That's all right. Spain's stupid every day, and we let him stick around.
I mean, I'm not responding to that. Let's just keep going.
What
are we doing?
You almost had me, but then you did it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Go here, Ian. We have Bob Myers was on the Rich Paul Max Kellerman podcast.
Yeah, so on the Game Over podcast is actually what it's
Should
called.
be show over, but go ahead.
Easy, Rob. Rob, caution. Bob Myers, the former general manager of the Golden State Warriors, he was the GM for them during their dynasty
Got
years.
kicked out? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, now he's the president of the Philadelphia 76ers, and he went on the Game Over podcast with Rich Paul and Max Kellerman to pitch LeBron James on the idea of playing for the 76ers. Here's how it sounded.
If he was here, I'd say I honestly believe this is your best chance to win. You have to decide all the other things that are equally important because it's his life, right? He has to play. He has to face the scrutiny of his decision. Half the people will say you should have done this or should have done that, and they'll criticize him for whatever.
All right. One of the many points, the LeBron James camp is always using the victimhood card to counter the idea that they're doing anything that deserves criticism. Yep. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Almost everything he does deserves to be ridiculed. He deserves to be driven out of the sport and out of the limelight because he's so embarrassing. And he counters that by playing the victim card first. He's like, I'm so judged. What's wrong with me being a pedophile? Excuse me. Anyway.
Which is his life. So he's been through all that. What I would just say is
it's his life. He's been through all that. And none of that has anything to do with his questionable decisions and embarrassing behavior, does it, Bob Myers?
AOH, real quick, before I forget, we live in a time where Rich Paul was citing God. as a reason as to why LeBron James didn't win. And I'm not the most religious person in the world, right? But if you have an ounce of spirituality to you, do you think that an all-intelligent being would devote any power or energy to whether or not a dude wins a game? Like a child's game? Like, what? Think about it from a bird's eye perspective. Do you think God would want or care whether or not a billionaire continues to be a billionaire? Like, to me, if I was Christian or if I was observant, that would be one of the most offensive things I could possibly hear. And I'm actually kind of surprised there wasn't more backlash about that. It's like, bro, we're living during literally World War III, and you want to cite religion on whether or not somebody would win like a sporting event? That is desperate.
I went off on this in a members only video, and you're right. It was a lot about what you're talking about, and like the most unchristian people ever claiming Christianity and claiming it occasionally when it's convenient.
It's weird. And I don't care what you observe. Like, that's not the point. The point is that you're basically citing the Bible for why LeBron James didn't beat Dallas. Like, that's something you hear on South Park or Saturday Night Live or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I find it disgusting in multiple ways. I find, because it's not new. People thanking God for winning is certainly not new. People blaming God for losing is insane.
You summed that up so much better than I could ever. Like, they blamed an omnipotent.
They blamed God. That's different.
God gave JJ Barea the strength to guard him.
How about the comfort level of hopping between excuses, and blaming God is just one of the ones that they hop between? And one of the other terrible things that they've said is that he did it on purpose so that Dwayne Wade wouldn't get finals MVP. I'm like,
yeah.
How can you not be ashamed of that if in fact it was really what happened?
Oh man, you got to save those. You have to save those excuses for when your back is completely against the wall and you have nothing else. AOH, to your point, this is like the whole God thing. That's like just a small example of the excuses. To me, I would keep that one in the tuck until all else has failed. But they just regularly speak like that.
Let me
That's
shout
a good
out.
point. That's a great point.
Let me shout out Eyal Sabag. Found it. He gave me another super, by the way. So somebody please find something wrong with this super chat so that he'll correct this one. Found it. YouTube does not allow me to paste the link, but it's from Scap Attack, players twerking for LeBron. It wasn't Eddie. Great live. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying this live. Thank you. Well, without even referencing the video, I think what we covered at the beginning of this show is people interpreting different things as twerking. Whereas, the basketball show, like the basketball show was excited about Steph Curry dissing LeBron James. He considered it a total diss. He's like, I'll play golf with him, but not basketball. And then, yes, admittedly, he trailed off with a little bit of, sure, it'd be great to play with him. Did he mean that part, or did he mean the first part? So I don't think that deserves to be put into a compilation of twerking for LeBron. But it's also disappointing compared to what we would like to hear.
Compilation. Good for you, bro. Just learn that word.
Okay.
If it's about winning, and that, let's talk about this team, because you can win here.
Is it about winning? Is it about winning? Because when look, I heard it was no longer about winning and LeBron just finding happiness. I heard it was about his family first. Now it's back to it's about winning.
I thought wasn't it was also about happiness?
And about getting a Supermax too. It just depends on the day with these motherfuckers.
Do you guys realize, just for a bird's eye view perspective, over the course of less than half a year, the quote unquote greatest of all time went from demanding a supermax to the conversation is now about accepting the vet min. If that doesn't tell you exactly, like the people will tell you. And Siberius, you're a sneakerhead. Like the people will tell you, the demand will tell you. Everyone says LeBron's the most popular athlete, blah, blah, blah. How many LeBron James jerseys do you see out in public, right? Oh, his sneaker sells. How many pairs of LeBrons do you see outside of Marshalls or TJ Maxx or the clearance section of every sneaker store ever? People will tell you, the public will tell you, not the idiots that seem to be LeBron fans, but the majority of public will tell you, like, no, like we're not rocking with him. Sports Center can tell you what they want. ESPN they can shove all this stuff down your throat, right? But the proof is in the pudding. People don't rock with him, no matter what Draymond Green tells you, no matter what Klutch Media tells you. The public will tell you, the numbers will tell you, people don't rock with him. So the greatest of all time sitting there begging for a veteran minimum contract tells you exactly what you need to know.
You might be more likely to see someone wearing one of these than an actual LeBron.
Actually, AOH, no, you were 100% correct.
Yeah,
100% correct.
I have never seen a pair of LeBrons in the wild.
I haven't either.
That's my point.
And I'm a shoe guy. I look what every fucker's wearing. I've never seen a pair, not one time.
You see Kobe's more than you see LeBron's, and of course you see Jordan's more than you see both. What more do you need to know?
Even when disgusting LA people come into town to play against the Warriors, I'm sorry, that's not all of you. It's the cult members of the LeBron fanhood. Even when they come into town, I don't see LeBron jerseys.
No.
Ric Bucher. Oh, by the way, shout out to Lil Greg for being a member for 3 months. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Armando Ruiz. Hello, sir. Ric Bucher for NBA commissioner. Stick around, Armando, because we are going to play a lot of Ric Bucher sound bites. But yeah, Ric Bucher for NBA commissioner. I kind of like the sound of that.
I love that.
I'd be all for it.
I love that.
Now, Spain, you were talking about evidence a minute ago, and it made me switch gears to this screenshot of Derek Fisher. Now, the core of this video, this one also was from the basketball show, was Derek Fisher being dismayed that LA fans are so excited for LeBron to leave. And he made sure to word it as LeBron chose to leave the Lakers. Like he just went out of his way to word it when LeBron broke up with the Lakers. And then he tried to put guilt on fans for not liking somebody, as if you were ever never allowed as a fan to like or not like someone. But the talking point I wanted to bring to the show was, how would the LeBron camp ever possibly hold up their case in court versus all the evidence that LA didn't want LeBron? Like, does the LeBron camp have any form of evidence whatsoever aside from claims, unsubstantiated claims, words, in other words? Can you think of one solid piece of evidence?
No. And the saddest part is that probably doesn't even matter. Because that's been the trend his entire career. And again, and I'm glad you brought up the Derek Fisher thing, because I didn't pick up on the nuance that you just mentioned. Derek Fisher, again, a known snake, a despicable human being, couldn't stand him with the 2000 Lakers, haven't stood him since. Again, saying things pro LeBron from somebody who lacks what I think is character. So
that's kind of interesting.
It's not surprising.
Let's stay on that for a minute, because I don't know very many people who feel that strongly about Derek Fisher. What turned you off?
I haven't liked Derek Fisher since the I guess it was the second three-peat Lakers. And he's a very messy individual in terms of like on the court and off the court relationships. I think that he got into it with Matt Barnes maybe like 7 or 8 years ago over Matt Barnes' wife or baby's mom or something like that. And it was just this horribly messy situation that, in my opinion, like a grown millionaire with access to pretty much whoever you want still decides to go this messy route. So when you go route,
they were screwing each other's women.
Yeah, something along those lines. And Matt Barnes like drove to go fight Derek. And Matt Barnes is corny too. Don't get me wrong, him and Steven Jackson. But it was something. It was over a female, and they were both driving hours and hours and hours to fight each other.
Oh,
and it's just Derek Fisher is a known goofball. So somebody being pro LeBron that's also a goofball is no longer surprising to me.
No. Then again, we're.
Oh, actually, and shout out to, what is this, Trev, KVLTRS, forgive me for butchering that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he shot his shot at Kobe's wife as well.
Wow. Well, we're talking about rumors here. We don't want to stoop to that, do we?
Listen, that's the climate. You know, that's the climate that we're in, unfortunately. You don't have to substantiate anything. You just say it.
Nope, just say it. That's all
just
it takes.
You know what, AOH and Siberius? We should just start saying stuff and see if it catches hold. Because it's working for the opposition.
It's funny that you say that, because I genuinely thought about making a video where I just make completely outlandish fucking claims that aren't substantiated in any way.
Do it.
Just to see if I hear it somewhere else.
Do it.
Like if somebody picked up on it and now they're like, nope, that's fact. I have too much integrity for that.
If you want to talk about other stuff about what's this guy like, what's that? By the way, he knows players, a lot of them better than I do. Their games. This is a guy that probably watches more basketball than anybody understands. Like
that's a fact.
He's not just playing, and he's probably watching the game in February that nobody's watching. So he knows.
I can stop it right there. I don't think there's any truth to that whatsoever.
Who's he? He's not talking about LeBron, is he?
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yes, he is.
Is he out of his fucking mind?
Thank you. Well, he's on Rich Paul's show, so there's no pushback.
Wow.
Not only does he know the guys, he knows how they play.
It's kind of.
No, he doesn't.
Kind of unprecedented. I don't know if I've ever heard an official from a team
comment on that.
Okay.
Because that is another completely unsubstantiated thing. However, I remember, and I apologize, I can't remember his name. It was somebody was playing with Jordan in his last All-Star game. And Jordan brought up each player on the team, what their issue was and how they could improve it. And there's a clip of it on the internet. I'll see if I can find it. Maybe I'll do a video on it, because he knows the game. He knows how these people play, and he knows how they could fix their game. And it's proven. It's proven. It's provable. There's nothing that LeBron has ever done. It's just like them saying that, he could reverse plays since he was 8 years old. Somebody make him fucking prove it. If he could do it at 8, he damn well better be able to do it at 41.
He could play in the NFL, but he'll never have to prove it. He could beat Mike. He could beat Mike Tyson in his prime, but I mean, they'll say anything.
Anyway, I'll shut up.
All right.
How about podcast just to pitch a free agent?
How about lame? Bob Myers, ridiculous. It's as lame as it gets. If you want to do that, pitch it behind closed doors to Rich Paul or LeBron James. Going on a podcast doing that, man, where's the professionalism? Seriously. It just comes off as so lame and quirky and dumb, and you don't.
How about illegal? I mean, where do we draw the line of tampering?
Need to do that, right? That's not what you do. You're out here trying to entertain people about LeBron and making it public. That should be something that's between you and a potential client. You disagree with that? It just seems.
Go ahead.
It seems bad to me, and I could understand. There's only one real place for him to go. Philadelphia is not granted some automatic that they're going to win a championship. LeBron wants to go on and be what wheel on this team? If you just went out and got Jaylen Brown, right, and you got Embiid, and Maxey. Yeah, LeBron's coming to do what? Whose place? Is he going to be the number 1 or number 2 option? I don't see how he could be number 1 or 2. Did somebody on that damn podcast push back and say, why would LeBron go there?
Thank you. Why is it so rare to find anything even remotely resembling the truth? And I can't even always find it here.
Because Rob Parker's he's not employed by ESPN. So he has a little bit of space to say these things.
A little bit.
Guys who were in front of him. That's what LeBron wants to finish out as being a 4th option on some team? It doesn't even make sense. But
Thank you. We just said that.
Or does it? Because LeBron will turn around and brag that he adapted his game to be the 3rd or 4th option when he doesn't change anything whatsoever. And then he came back and
go ahead, AOH, my bad.
No, that's all right.
But there's real world examples just last season where he wasn't willing to become the 3rd option until he was forced to. And that was with Luka, who I still think offensively, he's by far, even with his flopping and complaining, man, I love watching him play. So if you can't take a backseat to Luka, then you're not taking a backseat to anybody. Excuse me, that white boy. Forced. Let me boil him down to his race. My bad, that white boy. Sorry, go ahead, Siberius.
Well, that's the most important part.
Right, that is the most important part. Forgive me.
Even when he was quote unquote forced to play the 3rd option, can anyone elaborate how his game changed, how what he did on the court was any different than the day before he was forced?
I'll do you one better because LeBron's own words was that he went back to leading them after Luka and Austin went down. How did it change then?
Well, exactly.
Nothing changed. And he wasn't forced into being the 3rd or 4th option. He became the 3rd or 4th option because the only time they could win was when he was the 3rd or 4th option.
Exactly. But let them tell you that just like AOH, and you've brought this up several times, let them tell you it was his decision. And when we talked about that Tristan Thompson tape a couple of days ago, okay, you didn't, again, just people saying things. It was clear as day. If you watch the games, there was no handing over of no keys. There was no handing over of any team. And he certainly wasn't going to do that for Luka, because if he did, and Luka and Austin Reeves were your 1st and 2nd option, whether they play defense or not, if you build an offense around those 2 guys, you'll probably be semi-successful, whether they're black, white, green, whatever. They'll be really successful, but LeBron never gave them that chance up until he had to. And now all of a sudden he's this hero. But no, he's not. It's pure narration.
Can you guys say some racist shit so we can get some clicks?
Well, yeah, you're white.
Okay, I don't know.
You're white. Take that afro off. There you go. That'll do it. That'll do it.
That's
Colonizer. There you go.
Colonizer.
That'll do it. There we go. That'll get me some followers. If the more you and I fight, the more traction we'll get. So actually, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I mean that's what the media is teaching us today. Don't report on events or the sports. Say some controversial, nonsensical crap.
Listen, so actually, and we're at an hour 18. Do you want to get into the Stephen A stuff? Because I do.
You're foaming at the mouth.
I know, because bro, it's just like, it's infuriating to me. It is.
Yeah, you guys handled this show because I think I have to download it because I didn't realize you weren't going to be able to share the clip. I thought you were going to be able to.
Well, no, that's okay. I don't even need to show the clip, but I just want to say shout out to Club 520, man. Like Jeff Teague and those guys, because they were very open and honest about Stephen A. and his just like blatant racism towards white basketball players. And they, this is black men, young black men flat out saying, like, if the roles were reversed, there would be an uproar. And AOH, you unfortunately, as a white man, you have to preface all these things, right? And you have to build up this wall of tolerance before you can speak on anything. But if you hear it from Jeff Teague or B-Hen or any of those guys, they'll tell Stephen A flat out, like, bro, you were out of pocket for that. There's no question. And the NBA has had this anti-white stance for the last, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years. They used to code it. They used to hide it behind coded language by saying European, right? Ever since Nikola Jokic was about to get his third MVP, they say European. But the fact of the matter is if your team has Luka and AR, who combined probably averages 60, maybe 62 points a game, I don't care what color they are. That team is balling out, right? Stephen A. Go ahead.
That's that Stephen A. Smith fan that I made fun of in 2 members only videos. One of his things was the output and the scoring that LeBron provides. And I was like, do you understand that in the only game that the Lakers came close to beating the Thunder, it was when Austin Reeves was the leading scorer and LeBron James took a little bit of a, well, he didn't take a back seat. Actually, he still chucked up shots, but Austin Reeves coming off of an injury was better than LeBron James.
Yeah.
In his leadership role.
And AOH, I watched a bunch of your videos referencing just the imbalance of whether, like, if the roles were reversed. And again, you yourself always have to kind of like almost apologize for what you're about to say, right? But the fact of the matter is if the roles were reversed and somebody came out and said, well, this team has too many black players and they'll never win, there would be an uproar. And it's not like we're talking about average white players. We're not talking about a Greg Ostertag, right? We're talking about 2 of the top scorers in the league. So for them to be boiled down to their race just to sell a talking point and have nobody else in media other than Club 520, Jeff Teague and those guys actually say, like, Stephen A., you're out of pocket. That's problematic to me. Like, if Kendrick Perkins could formulate a sentence, he should have came out and said, like, no, you're wrong for that, But there's nobody that's on any of these on ESPN or First Take or any of these shows that'll, like, no, Stephen, you're wrong. You're factually wrong. It's not even if you want to say Tyler Hero, right, who just got punched in the face by Bam Adebayo, right, and that's going to be a whole thing. Even if you want to mention Tyler Hero, that dude is a problem on the court. Kyle Korver, a problem on the court. Their race was never brought up, ever. Oh. So for Stephen A., who's been in the league, he always talks about, I've been doing this 3 decades, blah, 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 blah. Check my stats, blah, blah, blah. For him to do something that dangerous during times where the human race has probably never been as divided as it is right now was dangerously irresponsible. And that's why it gets on my nerves so much.
Terrence Potts with the super chat says, Upside Down Land, we're living in a real life idiocracy movie. If he wins, he'll say that made him the greatest player of all time in the NBA. Oh, you mean even if he's taking a fourth spot, playing the fourth wheel, fifth?
I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah. Like, he didn't win in 2016, but it made him the greatest of all time.
He didn't win in 2020 either. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Yeah, that's not. No. Oh, the 2020 nonsense. My God. The fact that we even have to mention how ludicrous it is.
Of course, nobody pushed back because that's not what they do on these terrible athletic-driven podcasts.
Thank you, Rob Parker. All we want is a little pushback to make the conversation.
That's it.
To make the conversation interesting. I mean, did you guys do your homework, or did you just come there with your bottled water ready to nod at each other?
They don't push back to say, and Bob, why are you doing this publicly? Why would you do this? Does this and maybe hurt the idea? Why would you do this publicly? Shouldn't this be done in private? I've been in the sports business for 40 years. I've never seen this before.
Not in this way. Like, you might have seen a tongue-in-cheek
Like, oh, hey, you got.
Well, that ain't a pitch. It'd be like,
because like sometimes your timing is you happen to be on something when the big thing is happening.
Or a guy might say, hey, if LeBron wants to talk, I'll talk.
Something like this. They'll go, listen, tell you what, I know if he wants the best cheesesteak in the world, come to Philly, I know where to go. You joke and laugh. Him making a pitch, and by the way, the pitch was terrible. If he was a sales job, it wasn't great. Max, if you listen to the full length, Max's pitch was better than Bob's. But I think it's like this is where it gets weird, and we had this conversation before. Rich Paul, not just doing a pod as a guest, that's different, right? Because he could do a business pod. He could do, about so many different layers. Hey, I was just a guy hustling on the streets, met LeBron, we built a partnership. Hey, here's how you get into the business of being a lawyer and an agent. There's a million different ways where he would be a guest. Rich Paul doing podcasts regularly, like this is my pod, and it's not about movies. It's not about my favorite foods. It's not about dad podcasts. Podcasts about sports.
Makes no sense.
It is really strange, Rob, because to your point, it puts people in weird positions. Let's say Bob Myers was already on the books. They're booking out guests.
I don't have to do that, though. I could say.
No, I get that, but I'm saying now it gets weird because I'm on with you, who are his agents. Of course we're going to talk about it. And then, am I just talking to the general public? Or am I really making a pitch not to LeBron? I'm making a pitch to you, Rich. So it just gets weird with Rich Paul doing the pod and having these conversations. And he hasn't shied away. Normally you would say, hey, look, I got to stay away from that. I don't want a conflict of interest. He's been working for LeBron
That's
through
his
that
middle
pod.
name, conflict of interest. Are you kidding?
And that's what I'm saying. So it is strange.
Just ridiculous.
Him on the pod. Clearly,
that.
I'm not going to say anything to hurt my client, my biggest one in LeBron. So I'm always in favor of LeBron. He can't just say, oh, we're just chatting about LeBron. Everything you take is information. So if you're Bob Myers, I know you're like, this ain't no regular, just me and on with Rob and Kelvin making a funny pitch, having a good time. I'm literally talking to the guy who's going to be part of the decision making.
Does he think that they didn't know what they were going to talk about before the show started? I mean, of course.
Are you weaving this into your tampering conversation?
Yeah, Kelvin Washington starts saying some really ludicrous stuff here in a minute that I wanted to make fun of, but maybe we'll change topics for a little bit. I don't know. What are you guys feeling?
Well, so as he's talking, it seems like we're just describing tampering again.
Yeah.
Conflict
of interest.
Conflict of interest. That is his middle name. And it's been that way. LeBron doesn't have ring number 3.5 if there's no tampering with AD.
Right. And what? A couple notes on that. What was the consequence? I mean, it wasn't no, you don't get to have this player.
What was the consequence?
A small fine.
Did they fine the Lakers?
No, only Anthony Davis got like God, I know this is a big difference in the zero, but it was either 5,000 or 50,000. But to him, it's probably the same thing.
Yeah. Do you remember real quick, AOH, right before he got to the Lakers? And this is when Anthony Davis started to show his character.
Keep talking. I'm listening while I get some whiskey.
Well, that's what I just did. That's why I went off.
Instead of White Claw.
Okay, there's no reason. Well, at least it's white. You should be happy, right?
Oh, God.
AD, he wore a shirt that said, "That's all, folks," right before he left New Orleans. And they asked him about it. And he wouldn't even own up to the fact that he knew he was having an issue with the Pelicans. He said out of his mouth that he has a person that picks his clothes for him, and he knew nothing about it. But this man wore a "That's all, folks" shirt right before he went to LA. You knew what his character was back then. He was a Klutch client then. He's a Klutch client now. The man, I can't prove it, but I truly believe he was taking money on the back end for being in Space Jam: A New Legacy, because there's no other reason to be in that movie. By the way, Damian Lillard was in Space Jam: A New Legacy. I think that these dudes were taking money off the side, just being paid by Spring Hill Entertainment and Klutch Entertainment. And it's all connected. And this is where the conflict of interest comes in. All of these dudes are connected. Draymond Green, okay, he gets kicked out. He gets kicked out of the game against the Cavs. Now him and LeBron are business partners the very next season. They're best friends the very next season. And by the way, this is the one dude that's been a Steph Curry teammate that just will not allow him to ascend to, probably ring 6 or 7 if we're being fair. It's all connected and it's gross. And, not to be the old man yelling at clouds, but in Jordan's heyday, when he was dominating, you didn't hear about all this collusion. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but you didn't hear about all this stuff behind the scenes making things work for just him and his benefit. This is every day now for LeBron. He never gets a win. He never gets a victory that doesn't seem to have some kind of asterisk attached to it.
Well, no, absolutely. And you can tell the entire thing is orchestrated let's start with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis went to the Lakers. That next season, the Pelicans get the first pick in the draft. Luka goes to the Lakers. The next year, the Mavericks get the first pick in the draft. What are these, the luckiest teams in the fucking world?
Exactly.
They lose their best player, and then all of a sudden they get the first pick. So, the league has been absolutely behind this.
That's how the Cavs got Kyrie.
That's another great example. Is LeBron leaves the Cavs get Kyrie. It's not a one and done. It's over and over and over and over again.
Speam, you said something that deserves to be dug into a little bit. You said you're not saying that collusion or tampering didn't take place behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it did, maybe it didn't.
Right.
But now they don't even bother to hide it. Now they actually use shows to do it publicly. The arrogance, the hubris of we're not even going to hide it anymore. We're just going to flat out tell you this is what's happening. There's no punishment. And by the way, the double standard of didn't they step in and stop Chris Paul from joining Kobe, but they didn't stop Anthony Davis from joining LeBron? Yeah. I'll never forget that. Chris Paul was supposed to go to the Lakers. David Stern stepped in and said, no, we're not doing that. But you have this commissioner now who's creating tournaments. He's changing the construct of basketball itself, not just the rules, but the games needed. Everything about it to make sure that LeBron stays relevant. It's disgusting. Let me ask the viewers something, because I've got a lot of content we could go through. Let's see in the chat who chats the most. Do you want to hear me make fun of Kelvin Washington? Do you want to hear us make fun of Stephen A. Smith? Do you want to go back to sound bites from Uncommon Sense? Do you want to listen to the Ric Bucher sound bites? And I was also debating putting up a video from Gary828, who had a lot of interesting clips embedded in his video. So it'll take a minute for those comments to come through. I'll play this clip while we wait. Obviously, I'm going to see supers first.
Whether it's money, whether it's helping LeBron, decide on this. But as far as the team in itself, so sticking to that, because one of the things Max talked about was, what Philadelphia would mean as far as LeBron hasn't played in the East Coast like this. You obviously played on Miami, but it's not East Coast. It's not Philly. It's not Boston. It's not New York. He was saying, so you haven't done that thing. And that's what we fans owe players, for them to play in every sector of the United States of America. That's what sports is about. And how big that would be. Yeah, you could go win in Minnesota or Denver, one of those other places, but how huge that would be if you won in Philadelphia. So I do think that's a thing, winning there. How is that huge? How is that huge?
Okay, thank you.
He declared it and made it so.
What is the big deal about him winning? What are we talking about here? You're just saying things. I think Rob Parker might call him out on this. I can't remember. Oh, God.
Well, they now have one because of him, and Miami has won because of him, and then even them.
No.
LeBron got drugged to all of those championships.
Oh, gosh.
On teams that were only made possible thanks to Adam Silver being part of this fucking bullshit.
When was he solely responsible for any team's championship in his career? Name one time.
Better question. Tell me one iconic shot from LeBron James's finals that he took. One.
I mean, 0 for 7 for game-winning shots in the finals.
I mean, the best you guys have is a chase down block that occurred with like 3 or 5 minutes left in the game, and J.R. Smith gets at least 50% of the credit for playing the main defense that forced Iggy to alter to a layup.
Not to mention Iggy having a bad back and not dunking like he should have.
Yeah, he should have. Fuck him or pump faked. I mean, fuck Iggy. I'll never forgive him for that.
So winning something in Philly would be huge. I will admit that. Like that rabbit.
Because you're a dipshit. There's nothing to admit there. And it's not even
fan base. You know that. Being an East Coaster.
I don't think being a part of that group makes it that special. That's the difference. I just.
But what win don't you do? I get your. I get your point.
I just don't think that's where.
Where is that not the case now in the modern NBA? Meaning,
no. When Luka came.
And there we go. The continuing lowering of standards and expectations during the LeBron era makes it okay to continue with the bad behavior that LeBron James introduced to this NBA. Where does this not happen? So-and-so did it.
And there's no context given, AOH. There's no context given as to why it would be a big deal if the Sixers won. Let's just say it, right?
Yeah.
Can you give a reason as to why it would be a big deal? No, you can't.
But
that's why pushback is important. Had Rob Parker said to him, why is that such a big deal? Why would it be so great if he won in Philly? Because then he would have to substantiate that claim.
Yep.
He would have to articulate it further, maybe giving it meaning. But the reality is he fucking couldn't. There's nothing that he would be able to say to justify that statement.
But the next thing we'll hear is how LeBron idolized Dr. J and was always a big 76ers fan.
That's not what they say, is it? That's not what they say.
No, but if he went to Philly and they won.
LeBron James, he invented the cheesesteak. So take him to Pastor Gino's. He'll love it. What are we doing? He invented the cheesesteak. He when he was a little boy, he found steak and he found cheese and he found bread. And he thought to himself, I'm gonna put these together. And this is gonna be the whole heartbeat of an entire city. I knew that. I knew that when I was 8 years old.
Between flipping plays and creating sandwiches.
Flipping plays, I was making sandwiches.
Mr. Shanny. Hey, that's my question for Scrubnificent fans. Shit, I'm sorry. I need the context, Mr. Shanny. It'll cost you another super to clarify. No, I'm just kidding. But I honestly don't know which part you're referring to. Jay Batty says, AOH, why is it important to prop up LeBron? And are people stupid if you watch this bumbling idiot? You can see he isn't top 20. Also, he's broke, maybe? Klutch payout?
No, he ain't broke. He's got a fully guaranteed lifetime contract with Nike. He'll be forever rich, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, he makes an insane amount of money off the court.
He did say he was broke, but I think it's part of that whole victimhood mentality.
What?
But
LeBron said he was broke.
Yeah, at the beginning of before this season, he said he was broke. Come on, man, pay attention. Part of
the reason why he was saying he needed a max contract because he's broke.
Yeah, and I made fun of him because he used the fact that he gets clothes for free as an example that he's broke, and I was like, dude, that's an example that you don't have expenses.
That's the example of the opposite. What?
Anyway, but Jay's last sentence makes me think he's not talking about LeBron. Klutch payout with a question mark. So are you talking about Kelvin? Are you talking about the former GM of the Lakers? Or
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Cool. Jesse Glad Saget says LeBrick 23 and 75, 30.7% from the field in crunch time in his finals career. 0 for 7 on game winners. 95% versus single coverage. I'll send the video. Great.
Those are good numbers.
Come on, people. How do you not just make fun of LeBron James all day rather than worship him? Those numbers aren't acceptable.
Well, he was among the lead. So, and doing a little bit of digging, I saw these posts about LeBron James leading the league in fast break points last season. And it's like, if I've never seen basketball before, maybe that's impressive to me. But it's not difficult to lead the league in fast break points if you never cross half court, ever.
Yeah, and that's not.
Why isn't that? Why is
opinion.
Right? So then maybe do we need to change the definition? Again, we're literally changing basketball inherently, right? Do we need to change the definition of a fast break point? Don't you need to cross half court at some point to have a fast break bucket?
Well, are you switching the word transition with fast break? Because you could argue fast break just means that they threw it down there fast, but transition, I feel like you have to cross from one side to the next for a transition to take place.
That's an interesting topic. I'd be curious to see what people have to say about that. I never thought about it like that because he led the league in dunks. Cool. Well, it's not hard to do that when you don't move from under the basket for multiple possessions.
What are people saying? And I'm sorry if I didn't answer you guys' questions properly. Jesse Glad Saget, you provided some stats that were wonderful. The rest of you, thank you for your supers. I answered as best as I could. And what are people saying about which topic we should get to next? While you guys peruse that, I'll hit play.
If Luka and LeBron teamed up and won, it would have been like, wow, they got him Luka, and they were able to win. Like now you're cutting the pie. LeBron feels like an add-on. LeBron feels like you're adding pepperoni to the pizza, or you know what I mean. You already have the pizza, or you already have the cheesesteak. He's the cheese whiz. Is what I'm saying.
He's cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz. I like that. That's good.
I think Kelvin's back.
And here's where I get your logic, but here's where what ends up happening. When it becomes playoff, Embiid's going to be hobbled.
No.
I'm saying this is what happens year in, year out, Rob.
But if Jaylen Brown is the MVP of the thing, LeBron.
Huh?
Can you rewind it like 7 seconds? I missed what he said.
This is what happens year in, year out, Rob. But here's where what ends up happening. When it becomes playoff, Embiid's going to be hobbled.
No. I'm
saying this is what happens year in, year out, Rob.
But if Jaylen Brown is the MVP of the thing, LeBron, I'm just saying,
I'll give
he's not going to get full credit.
That could have been Luka. That could have been AD in 2020. So, I'm not saying he's not. I guess what I'm saying is,
AD didn't get any credit in 2020, and he's the only reason that they won.
He's the sole reason they won. And I didn't even think about it till just now, AOH. If he signs to the Sixers, not off the top of my head, LeBron will have played with Embiid, AD, Kevin Love, what's his face? Chris Bosh, the alcohol on down his mouth in front of everybody. Chris Bosh. He will have played with the most premier big men outside of Giannis and Jokic in the history of basketball. Him going to the Sixers, whether he wins or not, just like any other team he goes to, should do more damage to his legacy than ever propping it up. Ever.
It should, but it's not about competition or integrity anymore. It's about stories. I don't know.
It doesn't matter if he's the fourth option, the fifth option, if he is out 90% of the season. I mean, one of the points that I made in my video talking about him going to the 76ers is I can't wait to see LeBron and Embiid never play together. Because
funny.
I've one averaged 59 games per season on the Lakers. Embiid averages 60, 62 games on the 70s. They'll never fucking play together. They'll be on the same team, but you'll never see them on the court at the same time.
Those two floppers are going to end up injuring each other with their flops.
Oh yeah. I don't wish physical harm on people typically, but man, oh man, those two are destined to flop into each other.
I mean, LeBron just crumbles. LeBron just crumbles to the ground out of nowhere sometimes. I still don't have an explanation for it. You guys know the clip? He just falls to the ground. His teammates turn around are you okay?
Shout out to Ben _Reigns 2178. they say do a top 10 teammate study on MJ and LBJ. You don't even have to dig that far to go, well, okay, MJ had Pippen, Rodman. Okay, let's go down the LeBron list just in the last 5 to 6 years. You don't Luka,
Just on the
AD,
Lakers alone?
just on the Lakers. Luka, AD, Melo, Westbrook,
Dwight Howard,
Rajon Rondo. Right. That's just his tenure with the Lakers.
I can approach this from a different angle. The changes that the Bulls made were nothing but draftees and patience. Draftees and patience. Draftees and patience. Not going out and hiring mercenaries and trading away the future of the franchise. Let's get through this because we have to get to some other sound bites. Come on.
Man, oh man. A 42-year-old likely is not going to get full credit because it's going to take a full ensemble. So but what happens is he's going to be right. If they assuming they had won, he'll be right there. It'll be him or Jaylen Brown for MVP. And if it's Jaylen Brown,
he actually thinks LeBron James will be in the MVP conversation.
It took my
LeBron
brain
would have played a
to process that.
massive part, so he would have a massive slice of the pie of why they won.
What about Maxey and what about Embiid? I'm just
yeah. That's a pretty fair question.
Play a role. All guys will play a role, but
they're just going to play a role.
I'm saying, like, he's 42. Where is he going to go? Where he was singularly going to be him, and they're going to win.
But because if he goes to Cleveland and him and Donovan,
it'll be Mitchell.
No, it won't.
Or
it'll be. They have way better.
Or did Evan Mobley go crazy?
Way better shot that LeBron coming home and winning a championship with Donovan.
What's Froman from Cleveland's name? Jarrett Allen. Can we get Jarrett Allen on the Warriors, please? I like him. Can we get Jarrett Allen? Jarrett, get out of Cleveland before LeBron gets there. Because your career, your legacy is about to be destroyed. You're going to be put into the category of shit players, as happens with everyone LeBron has ever played with, even though LeBron simultaneously makes all of his teammates better, and yet you also put all of them into category of no help and shit and trash.
He makes them all better, and then they all become the face of men's mental health because they're so depressed within the same season. That's how great he is.
Well, like my brother commented. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No.
Like my brother commented in the last live, Michael Vick has a better reputation than anyone else that's played with LeBron.
Yeah. Because they're all weird. All of them.
They've all been relegated to being bums, regardless of their accomplishment. I mean, J.R. Smith has been ruined for LeBron James' mistake. And I mean, we certainly don't have to go down this. We can get back to the clip. But he's probably the one that's been ruined the most. As far as made to just look like a bumbling idiot.
I love this topic. I think we should save it for a different time, but my argument will be Kyrie Irving, and here's why. Kyrie Irving had to sit there and have an adult ask him how he felt about LeBron James as a father figure.
Yeah, I remember it was very awkward.
To me,
that was rough.
That was one of the most alarming moments in sports, just generally speaking.
And he had just arrived.
And he had just arrived. Thank you for putting that in context. He had just gotten there, and he's already getting these questions about LeBron as a grown man having someone ask you about this person as a father figure.
Even if LeBron brought leadership, which he doesn't, not enough time had even gone by.
No.
And poor Kyrie, especially. God, whose show was it that I heard the soundbite of Kyrie is like, I didn't know LeBron was coming back. I thought this was my thing, especially listening to the fans, especially listening to the people in Cleveland. And, he didn't say this, but you could hear in his voice, he was talking about the hatred and the disgust that the people of Cleveland had for LeBron James because of the Miami move. He's like, I didn't picture Cleveland bringing him back. Of course he didn't see it coming. Who did?
No, he seemed very off-put by it and caught off guard.
rightfully so. We all were caught off guard. I mean, the GM said some pretty mean shit about LeBron James, and then turned around and was like, okay, come on back. Terrible. And we all know that LeBron would not have gone back there if they didn't have Kyrie, and if he couldn't bring over Kevin Love, and if he couldn't steal J.R. Smith and Shumpert from the Knicks, and he left Dwayne Wade high and dry. Like the same criticism that Stephen A. Smith put to Kyrie Irving about leaving without having a conversation, LeBron James did to Dwayne Wade in Miami.
Yeah.
Did to the entire community of Cleveland themselves the first time when he went to Miami. Did to Cleveland again when he went to LA. Now this time, LA was finally like, we're not signing you. Go do your off-season bullshit, but there will be no contract coming from us. So at least for once, it wasn't the franchise actually being bitch enough to wait for LeBron to spring upon them his decision, which is a terrible thing for anyone to do to a franchise if you're simultaneously going to claim to care about that franchise. Like if you're going to just come forth, if you're willing to come straight up.
Yeah, but AOH, the Lakers drafting Bronny, the only counter to that, the only balance to that is how they went about doing this. Like they bent over in the most egregious way ever. Again, maybe in the history of sports that I've ever seen, drafting his son, right? And there's no way humanly possible. If you have any ego or any self-respect at all, which maybe they don't, you cannot allow this man to get away with smearing your name as a franchise when you drafted his son in the first round after he averaged 2 points a game. And there were professionals on television justifying it. Again, that was maybe the grossest, other than the decision itself, that was maybe the grossest thing I'd ever seen on TV, was a group of grown men justifying drafting Bronny James. And if you had anything negative to say about it, okay, well, now you hate black people, and now nepotism is okay because of X, Y, and Z. But when you look at the facts, nobody in the history of the league ever gets drafted in the first round, let alone basketball, just generally speaking, where they get a guaranteed two-way contract where they can just maybe play in the G League, maybe play in the preseason, maybe play here, maybe play there. You're taking money out of pockets of dudes who worked their butts off to get there. So for me, the only way the Lakers make up for that is by going this route of just dragging his name through the mud. Like that's the only way you gain any self-respect back. That's my opinion.
Do you guys have any conclusion of which clip we should play next based on viewer feedback? I was scanning through it. It's a little bit close.
I saw Stephen A's name being brought up a couple
No, you
times
didn't.
in the comments.
That's the one I didn't see. That's what you want to talk
Really?
about.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I saw
It's got me
Bucher.
hot.
I saw Bucher.
It's way too back. I'm not going to be able to find it
Then
anymore.
would be
I
the
did see-
story.
I
Don't
did
give
see
me
a
that.
few-
Don't give me that.
It ain't far-fetched. He couldn't win it in Philly. Win the MVP.
He could win it in MVP in Philly. Okay, here comes okay. Kelvin's finally getting to the stupidity I wanted to talk about.
Because of the way he plays and his efficiency.
Disagree.
That could easily happen. He could average 23.
Okay. Oh, another word they use that never has any context brought with it, his efficiency. The fuck you talking about?
10 and 10. That's not
I just
far-fetched.
think your view of LeBron is way different.
I'm just telling you what we've seen.
No, I've seen him play
Also,
half the court.
23
I've seen him.
is
I've seen him
horseshit.
play.
That was a flat out fucking lie.
I've seen him play half the court, Rob Parker said.
Plus minus.
I'm not saying
Go
he's
look up his plus minus.
88.
Thank you, Rob. Go look up his plus minus. And by the way, it'll still having the worst plus minus in the history of all NBA teams won't stop him from being named to an all NBA team.
Jordan winning MVP.
Go
and
look up his
defensive player.
plus minus when he's out there. He's just not that. You act like it's 2010.
No, I'm saying if they were to make it to the finals, LeBron would be a massive reason why they wouldn't. That's all.
Wow.
I'm saying.
I'm not sure of that.
I am. I haven't seen anything that shows me that if there's
They
success.
just got Jaylen Brown. They just got
show you that he'll shit the bed in the finals.
I'm saying
they just got Jaylen
game-winning shots in the finals, most air balls in the finals, most missed free throws in the finals. What the fuck are you?
Or what about Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, or Joel Embiid? I guess it'll be all on LeBron with all of those generational talents.
Yeah, hold on. He's gonna.
Brown.
I'm agreeing that Jaylen Brown would. Why wouldn't it be a Jordan? Why wouldn't it be a Jordan Pippen?
But why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be a Shaq and Kobe?
Why wouldn't it be Jaylen Brown and Maxey, or Jaylen Brown and Embiid finally stays healthy for a whole postseason? Why wouldn't it be those two?
Because
that's what I'm asking you.
Because the way in which, if he's on your team,
no, if Embiid is healthy, I'm asking you. If Embiid is healthy,
the way in which he plays, he's going to average 23, 8, and 8, and that's you're going to look up, and he controls the ball. He makes the best decisions, passing.
Here we go.
Oh,
generic.
I have a real headache. I have a real headache now.
Generic claims now. Forget the fact that you're basically perpetuating the problem with the current NBA that they're not allowed to move on from LeBron James. Rob Parker's like, why can't you let it be Maxey and Embiid or Maxey and Jaylen Brown? And Kelvin Washington's answer is the way that he controls the game, the decisions that he makes. LeBron James fucks up constantly. He's the reason that you lose in the playoffs. And I can back that up. My God, I've got my archive is daunting to me of evidence to go through. But as we said earlier on the show, all you have to do is make audacious claims, and it's good enough today.
But AOH, these are
that's not the end of his quote, by the way. That's not the end of his terrible quote, by the way. Just so
let's.
You want to finish it?
Yeah, please.
All right, let's finish it and then lay into it.
Yeah, please.
Well, and you're going to look up, and he's going to have his handprints, and it's been that way for 24 seasons.
I disagree with so many players on that team. All right.
Okay.
That's a lie.
It was.
Now we're just lying. Now we're not assuming, we're just lying. Okay, he had his handprints for the last 20 years. Okay, but what has that resulted in? What wins has that resulted in? Who cares? Like, what are we?
I thought it was Kelvin. It must be one of the other sound clips I have ready for today, talking about LeBron always making the right decision. Like, how many terrible decisions did you guys see him make in the playoffs this year?
All of them. Most of them. Most of them.
And the other thing, his control of the game, and they'll always throw in his IQ. Like, that is the most overused and abused term right now, his basketball IQ.
But AOH, I don't know if you peeped this. He said, okay, well, maybe he'll average 23, 8, and 8. He'll be in the MVP conversation. When is 23, 8, and 8 getting you in an MVP conversation? That is like the average of like the top 15 players in the league right now. Maybe top 20.
It is top 20.
Is it? Yeah, I was going to say. Back LeBron's first maybe 6 or 7 years when he was averaging, like 27, 7, and 8, 27, 8, and 8, whatever. Okay, I give that a little bit of credit. Cool. That is the average now. Russell Westbrook literally averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons. 3 straight. And how many seasons was he in the MVP conversation for any of those? Almost none. Almost none. These are empty stats. They were empty stats when he won the scoring title. Plus, the year before he won the scoring title, he stayed in the game during garbage minutes, and nobody had the balls to call him out on it. Right? The definition. His 23, 8, and 8. I promise you, Philly maybe wins. What 30 games? 25. So who cares if that's what he gets? It's going to be in garbage minutes.
Forgive me, guys. This is gonna cut you off when it goes on the screen, but I'm gonna pause it.
On the United WeCast.
Okay, go ahead. Siberius, you're about to talk.
Any statistics after 2014 are inflated. every single player, despite the fact that they have gotten older, all of their numbers have gone up. I don't know the exact rules that were implemented in 2014 to basically outlaw defense entirely and to make scoring so much easier and free throw discrepancy. So I'm sorry, 23-8-8 in 2026, or what will be 2026, 2027 is rat ass.
Yeah.
That means nothing to no one.
Everyone's assists mean nothing compared to old assists. Everyone's rebounds mean nothing compared to old rebounds. I mean, and it's not limited to LeBron, even though I highlight LeBron a lot, that the other team isn't even present during a defensive rebound. So who gives a fuck that you're getting defensive rebounds? But I will still stand that LeBron's are worse than anyone's.
Agreed.
LeBron steals rebounds from a teammate that the ball's going to. The other team's gone, which is an issue with the NBA itself. We're jogging down to the other 3-point line where we're going to stand. Exciting basketball. But while there's no other team there to even try and take the rebound, and it's just LeBron's teammates, LeBron will actually move to the other side of the rim and steal it from his fucking teammate for these meaningless stats. So yes, his stats are even worse than other people's stats. In the worst fucking age of stats that's ever existed. How about some supers? Read a couple more supers here. This is from
George. Can't you read? It says George Fun Facts 217. Can't you read?
Okay, you're drunk and unnecessarily volatile. No, I can't.
That's funny. That's good.
To answer your question, I can't until I lean forward. George Fun Fact says, and I don't know what NT is. If you want to be a smart ass, fucking answer what NT stands for.
No, you just called me volatile, which is aggressive.
LeBron was fraudulent MVP 6 of 24-25 season, had Luka on his team, and he got gentleman swept by MVP 8 Ant, which was equal to, okay, that was hard to read even when I leaned forward. I don't mean to be a dick, but that was not well written. But I appreciate Spain, make yourself useful and look it up. What does it mean?
I don't know what it means.
I told you to make yourself fucking useful and look it up.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, sir. Yes, sir, massa.
Adam Silver Bullet became commissioner in 2014.
Well, that explains a lot of the.
Damn, was it 2014? That's crazy. It feels like yesterday almost.
What? It feels like a century to me.
That's how it feels to me too. And
really,
the game has just been a dumpster fire for fucking ever.
See, Speem, I'm always drinking, but when you drink, we can tell.
I'm not a drinker. I smoke. I don't drink.
Well, but you are drinking, and you're making it apparent that you're not a drinker because you can't fucking handle it. Let's listen to some inspiring words from Ric Bucher. And yes, Speem, the only reason he's on the screen is because he's white.
Because he's white. I knew it. Yep.
I would say he's clear, but the red hairs.
No, go ahead. Put the colonizer up there. Put the oppressor up there. Go ahead.
We all know that Speem loves Ric Bucher even more than I do.
Ric Bucher, first of all, man, we need to make the push to get Ric Bucher on a show like this, because you brought this up last week that he doesn't have a high follower count, like at all. And no. he is part of what we're like, of people that are trying to save basketball. It's really sad, but man, it would be great to get him on a show like this because I love everything he has to say.
To play without their top goal scorer, and then suddenly, unexpectedly, getting him back in the fold. And the red card love, and I believe in the mantra, if you're saying it's at an one might or kindness, it's a survival instinct.
God damn it.
There's some truth. exclusively involving the NBA. Searchable. The
skipping
secret to
for
how
you guys?
legendary performers reach their highest potential so that you, no matter what you do,
I was fast
can
forwarding
reach
past
yours.
his book
It's
plug.
in bookstores everywhere,
gotcha.
or go to ricbucher.com to order it online. You can also follow me on X, the former Twitter,
Oh,
Instagram,
get off of
and
X.
Threads at Ric Bucher. I'm a lot of places. There's only one place you can hear just me talking about story angles and perspectives that you are not likely to find anywhere else. Primarily,
this is
not
taking a
exclusively
minute.
involving the NBA. And that is here. Sports media is frequently accused of being more interested in tearing down athletes than lifting them up, focusing on what they might do wrong rather than what they do right. There's some truth in that. One, because negativity sells. Our brains are wired to pay closer attention to bad news and bad behavior than acts of nobility or kindness. It's a survival instinct. Killing someone with kindness is just an expression. A heartwarming event isn't going to threaten our survival, but a mean-spirited one might. At the very least, it'll teach us what to look out for. Maybe that's why the NBA is more popular than ever, especially on social media, when unscrupulous behavior seems to be on the rise. Some of you NBA historians are sure to be quick to point out that there was a time when black athletes were banned from the league and another time when drug use was rampant. That's why I'm not saying it's at an all-time high. But the avarice and greed that we're seeing in the world at large is being reflected in how the NBA is conducting business as well. There are exceptions, of course, and at the risk of losing my audience, because of my willingness to accentuate the positive, I'm going to talk about them. But I'm also going to make note of how the league has lost its way as well. Not because I fancy myself as some sort of model of virtue or aspire to be a moral policeman. I bring it up because I don't like what it's doing to a game that I love. And I believe in the mantra, if you see something or hear something, say something. And I'm thinking that some of you may feel the way I do. And
Okay, I'll stop him because this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the show when I said I was going to talk about Ric Bucher. He felt compelled to say something, and he talked about the game that he loves and the destruction of the game that he loves. And with all the negativity, getting clicks that he referenced, he's basically talking about ESPN and ridiculous storylines.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean to talk shit, Ric Bucher, when you talk about losing your audience. You went independent too late because you don't have a fucking audience. But if you'd like to come on here, you're welcome. I would be happy to help you. But no, he does have an audience. But how eloquent was all of that, and how on point was all of that, instead of Stephen A. Smith just fucking huffing and puffing and pretending to be a tough guy.
AOH, for context, do you still have the Stephen A. Smith where he's getting upset at Jamel Hill? Because I think for a start, like everything Ric Bucher did was professional, succinct, just like well crafted. I think if you play just Stephen A.'s response to Jamel Hill and Draymond Green, it shows exactly what he's talking about.
Do me a favor and email it to me. That way
I'll do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, hang on 1 second.
You want to add some thoughts to what we've heard from Bucher so far, Siberius?
I mean, one thing that I always appreciate about him is his eloquence. He's able to articulate himself incredibly well and get across his message. One thing that I struggle with, I like to make two types of videos on my channel. The NBA content, which is incredibly aggressive and vulgar. And then I like to make life videos where I like to be positive, reaffirming, and just embrace the good in life. I don't make a lot of life videos because nobody fucking watches because nobody cares. If I'm not talking shit and shitting on things, nobody's interested. There are a few people that watch those videos. There are a few people that comment. I truly appreciate them. If I could, that would probably be the content that I would focus on the most. But just like Bucher said, people don't really give a shit about that.
What are y'all doing?
If you're going to shit on people, people love it. If you're going to build people up, if you're going to try to inspire, encourage, talk about the positive in the world, people just tune out almost immediately. There's so many people that disengage from my live videos within 30 seconds. So what he's saying is exactly on point. It's difficult to maintain it's also difficult to maintain positivity because there is so much egregious behavior out there. There's so many deplorable, abhorrent acts going on constantly. It just makes it easy. So I really, really enjoy Ric Bucher's content. I wish he had a bigger audience for it. I don't know how old or new his YouTube channel is, but it doesn't have a lot of viewership, and I'm hoping that it builds in time, and hopefully, you know, us highlighting it will help that audience grow, because I think he delivers important messages in an articulate, eloquent way that I think people need to hear. And
Bob,
as you know, go ahead.
Not quite, but on his way to being Bob Costas level.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, we heard fucking soliloquies to open up NBA finals in the past. Now we hear dipshits glazing LeBron, even when LeBron's not in the goddamn game.
AOH, I just emailed that to you. I think it would be beneficial to bring that up because Stephen A's response is the complete 180 from the professionalism that we're seeing here with Bucher.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking of 180, Stephen A is usually a 180 of himself. Fucking piece of shit.
Is the clip you're sending him on YouTube, Speam?
It is.
I was going to say, if you send it to me, I can download it and, you know, and put it in my present.
I'll send it to you too.
That's what I'm doing. Spain, you got to get monetized so that people can send you donations to get you a
I know that you think I live off the government. You know, so I don't think that'll be necessary. I'm quite independently wealthy, but thank you.
I can't even live off the government. They won't even allow that to happen.
No, assistance is only available for billionaires.
But yeah, follow my channel. Follow my channel, damn it.
Shut up.
Follow my channel.
Shut up.
I want you to know you're not alone. I feel you. I'm with you. I've got you. The controversy around Team USA striker Folarin Balogun and the red card he received that was then rescinded captures a bit of it. Is there any part of our lives that we can keep clear from political theater at this point? Especially since the card getting overturned and the heavy-handed manner in which it was done ultimately put Team USA on its back foot. There is no way the team wasn't negatively impacted psychologically by gearing up to play without their top goal scorer and then suddenly, unexpectedly getting him back in the fold. Think about how you react when you're facing a task shorthanded or have a deadline bearing down on you and suddenly someone shows up to take something off your plate or you get an extra day to get it done. What do? You relax. You exhale.
See, we went into dangerous territory there because he kind of hinted at politics. But if we ignore the politics, what he said is true. We're guilty of that. I'm guilty of that. If the deadline is lifted from me, I change.
Yep. It's true.
Spam, are you getting another White Claw or? Okay, great.
I don't know if this is a safe space to answer any more questions.
Just so everyone knows, never mind. You know what? We're going to switch to Speam's thing. And it looks, did you do this? I think that Siberius did this. Great work, Siberius.
You're welcome.
Siberius already has this here.
Beautiful. Thank you, Siberius.
Guys, another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show.
All right. Dreamers Pro, no offense, Charles, but we're going to get to the sound bites. Oh, Christ. I would say he actually resembles a donkey if I disrespected donkeys. You fucking pile of shit.
He is.
And so it comes to my, and so I don't think it's approached with that same integrity that you're speaking about, which ultimately,
I can't believe integrity came out of his mouth.
I think it leaves all journalists in a bad spot because you're not technically viewed as what you just said a journalist is.
I'm not going to say anything on TV I can't say to your face. So if I say on TV,
that's already different than Stephen A. Smith.
Not you personally, but if I say on TV, hey, you flop. Yo, when I see you, I'll be like, yeah, I said you flopped.
All right, stop right there. Stop right there.
How childish is that?
Stop right there. The most unprofessional thing. So I don't know very many.
He resembles the orange bitch in chief with his childish fucking belittling of people.
Who
you know who?
Well,
you know
right.
who does that?
Like, come on, man.
By the way, she had the balls. I understand that's weird because she's a woman. To say that ESPN is about just ridiculous topics that will bait people in rather than reporting on actual sports. Now, Stephen A. Smith got a stupid level contract from ESPN. Therefore, him being the fucking money-driven piece of fucking back and forth, flag in the wind piece of shit that he is, was upset. Nothing she said was untrue. And she certainly didn't deliver what she said with the childishness that Stephen A. Smith is responding.
Well, those two have been going back and forth for years. Jamel Hill is another known race baiter.
I'm sorry, guys. I got to go. I got an emergency going on.
Sorry, bro.
Hey, good luck, Siberius. I'll do my best to, manage AOH.
Oh, shit. But we also lost what he was sharing on the screen.
That's funny.
Do you want to intro that clip? Do you want to tell us exactly why you chose that to be your piece?
Well, I chose it because it exemplifies that Stephen A. is more about him and his brand than sports in general. And he's personalized this entire conversation between himself, Jamel Hill, and Draymond Green, and he's made it about himself and whether or not people are willing to show up on his podcast or have him show up on theirs. And it just goes to show that Stephen A. Smith is about Stephen A. Smith. And he takes everything personal. And one thing I can't stand is when people say, well, I don't care what other people think, until you back them up against the wall and you find out exactly that that's all they care about. And Stephen A. is a prime example of this. I brought this up last week. Any grown man that uses filters, right? Again, I'm going to repeat this, to make himself seem more vascular or more defined or anything along those lines, obviously cares what other people think. And he puts on this facade that he doesn't. And it's exhausting because I used to enjoy Stephen A.,
I wish you could put that screenshot that you sent up. So anyway, what Spain's referring to the thumbnail that is used by Stephen A. Smith, in which he tries to make himself look more muscular than he is. And they really went overboard with the veins. All right, so I found it and downloaded it and pulled it up so we can continue the conversation about it. Spain,
go for it. I'm ready.
Let me back up to him mocking her.
Not you personally, but if I say on TV, hey, you flop. Yo, when I see you, I'll be like, yeah, I said you flopped.
What you laughing about, Jamel Hill?
Why is he talking shit like he's going to beat a woman's ass?
You think he's above that?
No, but
exactly.
It's what he's doing. Okay, you're too young. I can talk shit to Stephen A. Smith because I'm old, but I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't be worried about whipping Stephen A. Smith's ass.
Absolutely not. Have you ever seen the videos of him boxing?
Yeah.
There's not a shadow of doubt that I would knock him out.
Somebody that's not in the locker room? Are you implying that you've been in the locker room more than me in my career?
Well, if you've been in the locker room, we know what you were doing in there. if LeBron was in the same locker room as you were orally servicing him.
I would like to shift gears quickly. Thank you.
He won't. God damn it. He talks so slow and so dramatically. This is hard. You know what, Spain? Don't ever say I'm not nice to you because you chose to put this piece of shit on the screen. This is difficult.
I think you're the one who sent me this clip originally.
No.
No?
Jamel Hill?
My life is such a fog. Jeez, I got to get it together.
I beg to differ. I was a beat writer.
I can't listen to him for very long. Do I need to fast forward?
Please.
How far am I fast forwarding? This fucking dude.
It's honestly difficult to make it through it. I'm not gonna lie, because everything he does is so performative. It's like a wrestling promotion.
It is. Which brings us back to Ric Bucher, who just in a nice.
Fast, thank you. Let me cut you off before I forget. That's the stark difference. Ric Bucher handles himself with professionalism and grace and communicates the message effectively. Stephen A just goes up there and sounds like The Rock for 15 minutes and says nothing.
No. The Rock sounds like fucking Shakespeare compared to Stephen A. Smith.
You're right. You're right. But that's my point. And Ric Bucher is the one who won't get the shine. He won't get the $10 million contract. He won't get the recognition he deserves for putting in the work, doing the research, like citing the facts. This man that we're seeing up here with his Under Armour G.I. Joe shirt is the one who's going to get all the attention. The man who actively dyes his hair, won't address his hairline, boxes publicly, poorly at that, is the most performative person maybe on sports media television. He's the one who's going to get all the action. When Ric Bucher is the one who should.
Didn't he publish that boxing video even before LeBron came up to him publicly?
Yes.
That was a great opportunity for you to show the world your boxing skills, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, you do all this boxing, show it here. I mean, what's LeBron gonna do?
Even with his bitch henchman behind him, that
who was one of the Morris twins.
Yeah, that he summoned
someone else
the
that
bench.
Can't read.
LeBron wasn't even secure enough to take on Stephen A. Smith alone. Get my back. Come get my back against the old man.
But the majority, the rest of this clip is about him being upset that Draymond Green invited Skip Bayless to his podcast.
No. I want
not
to hear
Stephen
this.
A.
No,
go
I
ahead.
want to play this. I do. I actually do want to play this.
And an NBA columnist for 15 years. You just gonna sit up there and listen to Draymond Green and forget the fact that I was a beat writer, high school, colleges, pros,
flexing
for the first 20 years of my career?
What's any of that? What's that have to do with?
I don't know.
If she had a good point, she had a good point. You could have been a beat writer for 100 years, and it wouldn't change whether or not someone has a good point.
And that I earned the right graduating through every step of this industry before I became a general sports columnist to not
earned the right is something that Stephen A. Smith also applies to LeBron James every time LeBron James does something shady. Yeah, but he's earned the right to be shady.
He's earned the right to draft his son.
He's earned the right to draft his son. He's earned the right to hold out on teams. Like, other teams are in summer camp right now. Other teams are getting to know each other, get to know the players. They're preparing for the season. The extent of importance that people want to put on summer camp or summer training will vary, but someone who's dedicated is there, not fucking holding out.
Isn't this also kind of a slap in the face to all those writers that are hustling, that do have to get shit on by the players in the locker rooms to get to the point where Stephen A. is? Like, if I'm a beat writer, if I'm a reporter that's in the locker room, I'm like, yo, like, you should be supporting us, not openly talking about how you're above where we are right now just because you feel defensive.
Let me put Mr. Shanny on. GD Ice Beam, can we please move on from screaming A. Smith? Oh shit. Uh-oh. Well, we got a super.
Fine. That's fine.
Well, I wanted to shit on Stephen A. Smith for what he said about Draymond, not even this woman that he's shitting on. We'll just play a few more seconds and move on.
Okay. Have to be in the locker room all the time? You just gonna let him say that? And there's no course correction whatsoever about the industry. And
as if Stephen A. Smith ever pushes back. Look, Ric Bucher delivered his message with a flow. Yep. Stephen A. Smith is taking so long that people are tuning out because we're playing Stephen A. Smith.
he's literally impacting the show.
He really is. And this was your idea, by the way. So I am blaming.
Well, I don't understand why you have to keep circling back to that.
I don't know. It's me being an insecure white man blaming a black man.
That's all right. I forgive you.
Oh, thank you.
The fact that my position was earned.
Now, there's the other earning part.
Now let me get to you, Draymond.
Okay.
Look at him grabbing the mic. he's setting up for
Ladies
something
and gentlemen,
serious.
before I say anything, you will never hear me say a disrespectful word about Draymond Green.
Well, that already means that you're scum, because almost
True.
Anything that anyone should say about Draymond Green should be disrespectful. He's not a respectable person. He's not a respectable basketball player. His behavior on and off the court is not worthy of respect. So Stephen A. Smith, double middle fingers to you for sucking Draymond Green's fucking cock.
And again, in the interest of switching gears, because I don't know why you keep wanting to put these thoughts and images into my head. Siberia says, just wanted to let you guys know nothing too serious. My chickens escaped and are running amok.
Well, it's what happens when you decide to imprison animals for whatever reason you do it.
Go ahead with the clip, Captain Planet.
Oh, you told me not to show it anymore.
Oh no, I don't know. Somebody was saying we needed to move on from it, so which I'm fine with.
All right, I mean Stephen A. Smith is painful. We have the backlash to what Ric Bucher said, which might be included in the Gary 828 video. Okay. We've never featured this person on here before. But there's a lot of sound bites in here that are going to be hard to resist reacting to.
All right.
And if you want to come back in, Siberius, after you re-imprison the prisoners.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to, as soon as you colonize your chickens.
Yeah.
More for the can. More for the can.
Let it rain. Bring out the chips.
This LeBron glazing on ESPN is just insufferable. Look at.
Don't mean to cut you off with your video, but that's what we do when we feature a video. Honest to God, can ESPN allow people to move on from LeBron James? I mean, you're sitting here fake dropping confetti about somebody who should have retired a decade ago instead of focusing on current NBA players.
Is that Ramona Shelburne?
Thank you, because I thought the same thing.
Is it? That's not her?
No, they brought back Hannah Storm, and she's so big now. I thought it was Ramona too.
Oh, I wasn't saying it to be like that, but that is funny.
Well, she ain't petite anymore. I mean, okay, compared to Ramona, she's still petite, but
how they continue to distort the narrative by trying to create the illusion LeBron's in high demand. All right, let's cover another ESPN special.
What does LeBron want?
I don't know what the future holds for me, obviously.
Don't know what the the future holds, it should hold retirement. This guy is talking like he's a prospect coming out of college.
Stop. That's actually a really good point. Why are we enthralled with what a fucking has been, or in my opinion, never was, if it wasn't for Adam Silver's assistance, is doing in the offseason? This is the destruction of sports and the destruction of media integrity at the same time. We saw the public respond to LeBron James not being in the playoffs by an immediate increase in viewership. We saw the public respond to the start of the season with an immediate increase in viewership when LeBron James was sitting out. We saw an immediate response from the Lakers team by winning when LeBron James was out with his fucking sciatica bullshit. I mean, why aren't any of these people talking about that? Instead, it's constant shoving down our throats of LeBron James and what LeBron James is doing. He hurts teams. His fucking legacy is that he hurts teams, and he surrounds himself with so many mercenaries in their primes that despite his inabilities as a player, they can still win. That's the only thing that you could ever say in terms of LeBron James's supposed success stories.
I think when you think about the context of the Lakers gave Austin Reeves a max contract before they gave the quote unquote a contract at all, tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, Austin Reeves is no scrub, averaged 27 last season, but is he ever going to be in a conversation ever about you know being an elite NBA talent? I personally don't think so.
He's going to have a significant career post LeBron, because anyone who's shared their career with LeBron automatically gets taken out of the conversation.
Correct. And again, not to be like the old man, but you really didn't hear too much about Jordan not having some kind of guaranteed something within the league to make sure that he was still playing.
Yeah, incentives, talking him into trying, which was one of the reasons for drafting Bronny that Windhorst said, give LeBron a reason to care. Jesus Christ. Yeah, NBA fans have to listen to that. We're supposed to support this game when you have to entice the players to act like they give a shit about the game.
The rumor going around AOH is that LeBron's not going to make his announcement until after the World Cup, for coverage reasons. No, I'm serious. Like that's exactly when it can be about him completely. That's when he'll do it.
Well, it didn't stop him from trying to hijack the NBA Finals. Why not hijack the World Cup? The World Cup's too big for him.
I hope so. I hope it's not that bad.
Shameless plug. Let's get some supers going through. Speem will search the normal comments, but I only have the supers up on my screen for simplicity's sake.
He would have some appetizing options.
Appetizing options? I'm so sick of the perpetual gaslighting.
Windhorst should not be talking about food ever.
The reason he's dragging out signing with the team is because he actually does not have any appetizing options.
So as much as I appreciate that, and as much as I want to get on board with that, as I said at the beginning of the show, I think there's a pretty good likelihood that LeBron knew a year ago that he was going to Cleveland. I mean, we saw Rich Paul making moves and forcing Darius Garland out of there. I'm not sure how bringing in Harden equals success, but that's what happened. But we did see moves happening that didn't really make sense. And if in fact this is an entertainment thing based on LeBron forming his documentary, going back to Cleveland makes sense in that context. Now his children might hate him for it, but he doesn't give a shit about his kids.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Literally, who cares?
He really does not give a shit about
He left Mr. Father Man left his whole son on a team. Completely left him on an island where you know the Lakers are going to make an example out of Bronny. Unfortunately, they're going to make an example out of him.
Well, we haven't talked enough about the fact that LeBron James was in fact holding the Lakers hostage and waited until after they gave Bronny the guaranteed money and then announced that he would move on, which, I mean, does that not show that the Lakers were trying to move on from LeBron? And this was one of the parting conditions. Fine, we'll pay your fucking son as if you're
just get out of here.
As if your billionaire ass couldn't cover his grocery bill. Since Bronny probably never learned how to go to the fucking grocery store and buy his own food. Then again,
I hate to tell you, but the next emerging storyline is going to be first father and son to play against each other. We're going to be inundated with that, probably more than anything. And don't let it be in the playoffs. Don't let it be an important game. Don't let there be a possession where they're guarding each other and the game's on the line, because you'll never hear the end of it.
Oh my God, you're so fucking right. And Bronny won't play a second all season, but when they face LeBron, they'll put him in just so that there can be a fucking story.
Just so they can, right? Exactly.
He brings nothing to the team, but hey, if we need a storyline for LeBron, let's put him in.
He brings soul. He's got a good soul.
He's got a great soul. No, I don't know if this is important or not, but I point out that he didn't say has a great soul. He has great soul is exactly what JJ said.
What JJ Redick said?
Almost as if he's borrowing portions of a soul from someone else.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what happens as Bronny, what happens to Bronny, the player, this upcoming season.
Mr. Shanny says, I mentioned this last night with Dreamers Pro, but the name of Scrubnificent documentary will be The Last Chance. It'll be a mockumentary. Oh, Mr. Shanny, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your supers. But your comment brings up the dark reality that we have cult followers. They're not basketball fans. LeBron fans are not basketball fans. They're cult worshipers. And whatever fucking ridiculous lie that documentary puts forth, they'll eat up unquestionably. But sure, let's call it The Last Chance. I mean, that would be appropriate. And I appreciate that clever little title, and I appreciate your super, Mr. Shanny.
AOH, I think that's an interesting point. I think that if they're smart, which they're not, if they were smart, they would wait maybe 5 or 6 seasons before they release a LeBron James led documentary in the hopes that people forget how useless he is. However, I think
who's forgetting those, Speam?
Hopefully people like us.
His fans don't see and will not see reality even as it's unfolding in front of them. Those who do see reality are not LeBron fans. I mean, it's split.
So then the reality that we're going to have to live with then is that this documentary will be released probably it'll be 2027, 2028 at the very latest, because they're actively filming it right now. So we are going to be fighting this fight for quite a long time.
You're insinuating that there'll only be one documentary.
That's
I think he's enough of an asshole that he'll do it the second he retires in direct competition to the existing NBA.
You mean like as the season is progressing?
Yes. Maybe during the finals.
Maybe during the fight, like maybe while he's playing.
I don't know.
Do we get the first real time Is this the first real-time documentary? Is this history that we're living in right now?
Just asking. As LeBron would say, just asking. Why can't a living player be in the Hall of Fame? Just asking.
I forgot all about that. I forgot that's as bad as putting the patches on the jerseys.
You know why you forgot? Because the list is really long. The list of embarrassing shit he's done is just staggeringly long. I could go back and watch my own videos and make reaction videos for the next fucking 10 years without doing any new original content, because I've forgotten most of the horrific shit that LeBron James has done, because I don't have time to remember it, because he's currently engaging in new embarrassing, horrific shit. Shall we continue?
Please.
All right. What level of functionality are you at right now?
I'm fine, asshole. Thank you.
Okay, so that's denial. The first sign of
No, I'm good. Although I gotta say, we've been at this for almost 3 hours, which is wild.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Holy, wow, it is.
Yeah.
Well, we have 271 viewers.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. One thing before we keep going, one thing I want people to pay attention to is, AOH, have you noticed this LeBron embracing golf as a sport kind of angle being out on the forefront, just from him and Klutch and anybody that talks about LeBron? They immediately start to reference golf, and it's weird, which makes me guess that he must have some kind of investment coming down the pike directly related to golf. I used to think it was just so he can ingratiate himself with Steph Curry, who is a great golfer, but my guess is he must have some kind of golf-like product coming down the pike, because everybody that's in his circle has referenced him playing golf specifically over the last 2 to 3 weeks.
This is true. They referenced him playing golf in Cleveland, like he was trying to send a message. Windhorse or somebody talked about the great golf that's in the Bay Area. But
see, I didn't even realize it was that bad.
Yeah. I mean, Pebble Beach is like a couple of hours south of San Francisco, and San Francisco has a few golf courses in its direct vicinity. In fact, they have a golf course right inside of the national park, the Presidio, that a famous commercial was showing. But I think it would be interesting to do a competition between Steph and LeBron in golf, because Steph would whip his ass.
Just like anything else. Anything dealing with technical, like this is
actual skill.
Thank you. Yes, actual skill. And if, again, I bring this up like every time we talk.
Anything that you can't scapegoat someone else.
Yes. If you've never watched a game of basketball in your life, and I show you a Steph Curry highlight reel, do you think you're going to enjoy that more or less than a LeBron James highlight reel? If you've never watched the sport ever.
Well, okay. Yeah. Well, okay.
What were you going to say?
Dunking. People enjoy watching dunking, and dunking is entertaining. And obviously LeBron dunks more than Steph does. But that's athleticism versus basketball skill.
Interesting. I never thought about the dunking component, because he does the most basic version of that. Because
Steph doesn't dunk hardly ever.
But what Steph does with a basketball is more impressive. I mean,
sure,
that.
But you said the uneducated basketball fan, and if you're an uneducated basketball fan, you'll probably be entertained by dunks.
I'd be curious to see what people say in the chat. Just from if you've never seen basketball, what would be more impressive to you? Watching.
Do you want to see a layup package? Do you want to see a layup package getting around defenders and finishing, or do you want to see a dunk?
Do you want to see someone coming down, elbow somebody in the face, and then two-hand dunk it, and then yell at somebody, and then yell at their mom and tell them to shut up?
And that's the best case scenario, because sadly,
that's the best case scenario.
Sadly, in this day and age, LeBron James is dunking completely alone, just like
ironically, he's dunking in this screenshot of this highlight.
Oh, let's get back to this video, shall we?
Yeah.
Thank you for those of you who are still watching. And oh shit, Uncommon Sense in the house.
Oh, shout out to Uncommon Sense.
5 years from now, the Duck will declare himself the GOAT of golf. Shout out to AOH and Speam. Uncommon, we started the show using your intros. Excellent intros. We appreciate your music and the editing that you've added to your videos. And the only reason I don't cut them off sooner is because of the enjoyment of your music. And I believe I have another tune that I've commissioned from Uncommon on the way.
Shout out to Uncommon for using Kingpin also.
Right.
As a reference.
It's a fucking entertaining movie.
It's a great movie.
He did, he would have signed by now.
Hierarchy of Cleveland, Miami, Golden State, Philadelphia.
None of these teams will win a championship with or without LeBron. So,
do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. Because I don't see any teams that aren't the Knicks or. Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree with that. He doesn't impact change on any of these teams.
I mean, we both will agree that he won't make anyone a contender. The real question is whether any of these guys were contenders previously. He will take a contender out of contention, in my opinion.
Well, when were the Sixers ever considered a contender? Ever.
Okay, so
because Joel Embiid's never healthy.
You're hoping that he'll be healthy, but you did get rid of Podcast P, which by itself is an improvement.
Podcast P is a joke of a human being, and the one person who got a Gatorade commercial for no reason, for some odd reason.
And then Jaylen Brown is a tremendous basketball player, but it's not LeBron. It's whether or not Jaylen Brown will make the change. Anyway, Cleveland, blah blah blah, Miami, what the Bay, and that's all been bullshit yet again.
why do you keep hyping this story up every single day?
It actually is every single day. That's not an exaggeration. And LeBron fans have the nerve to tell us not to talk about LeBron.
Well, AOH, it's like marketing 101, right? It's like you can't. And who did we say made the Homelander comparison to LeBron? Whoever it was, shout out to them. But it's this idea that, okay, if nobody's gonna love
it's
me,
blatant. Indeed, shout out to them, but it's such an obvious comparison.
Well, because it doesn't take any effort, AOH, to do that. They don't have a strategic way to do it, so they just say they're going to inundate them every day. They're going to beat us into submission by just telling you this is what it is. But if you watch the sport of basketball, you'll know, and you just said this 2 minutes ago, any team he goes to, he's not going to make them a winner. He'll make them more of a loser than he will a winner, because all of the teams mentioned weren't title contenders to begin with. And if he does go to a title contender, that just further exemplifies the fact that he has to stack the deck. It's a lose-lose for him if you have any common fucking sense.
Anyway, Uncommon, another shout out to you. Just want to make sure I express that I appreciate your super chat, and I appreciate your content, and I appreciate your music.
Story: LeBron James remains an unrestricted free agent. He can sign with any team this summer at any time.
No, he cannot sign with any team, or he would have signed with San Antonio or OKC by now.
Fair point, but just the fact that they throw around any team at any time.
If he could sign with any team, he would have signed with a team.
I don't even think Michael Jordan could say that he could sign with any team at any time. There are restrictions. There are constraints, or at least there used to be.
AOH, this is the 2:00 last call at the bar. Like I said earlier in the show, he's the most confident dude in the world. But when the lights turns on, he's begging for any female, for any team that gives him attention.
Okay, hard answer. Hard answer. Do you think he already had the Cleveland thing lined up before even the end of this current season? Or do you think he's actually homeless and pretending not to be homeless?
I think he's homeless. I think he was banking on but hear me out. I think he was banking on the Cleveland thing. I think when they said, Donovan Mitchell's team, it's his city, I think that must have lit some kind of fire under his ass that made him want even more to go back to Cleveland. I think he's really homeless. I think he showed his ass over the last 5 or 6 seasons, and the NBA is tired of it because he's no longer profitable within the means of basketball. People no longer pay to watch him play basketball. They pay to see the circus of it. They pay to see the drama of it, which is what Ric Bucher was kind of alluding to, that the sport of basketball is no longer about the sport. It's about the storyline. And the storyline of LeBron James is no longer profitable.
Yeah.
So I do think, I truly think he's homeless.
Well, I don't know if that's true, though. I wish I could say that it was.
Okay, yeah, let me rephrase. It should be no longer profitable. Yeah, let me correct that.
If you actually give a shit about sports, you should be focused on the teams and their success, not where can LeBron find happiness?
Yeah, fuck him and his happiness. I mean, what are we talking about? Why do I care if a billionaire's happy?
I never did. God damn it! I need some more old people on here who can remember through Jordan's years. Did we ever worry about whether or not Jordan was happy?
Oh, that's such a good point. Did we care about Kobe's happiness?
Did we care about anyone's fucking happiness?
Oh,
they were being paid to play basketball.
Well, AOH, I brought this up last week. What makes Kobe's ascension so impressive, and obviously Jordan's, is the press, for the most part, was against Kobe in his prime.
I don't know. That's true. That's not true.
Pretty much everybody, like,
that's not true. At one point they tried to put Kobe above Jordan. I remember it.
I don't think he has the same. I don't think people rocked with him until he retired as much as they do now.
All I said is that they tried. It wasn't very long, but they did try. And then the rape thing happened and they didn't try anymore.
But even then, he still had the press machine. He had the media not propping him up like they do LeBron. So for Kobe to still be in the
LeBron could rape someone and they would make an excuse for it.
I'm sure he has.
Oh, well.
I'm sure he has.
Come on. That's a pretty mean thing to say.
What? No, that's not.
I was calling out LeBron's fans not giving a shit if he did. You're saying he actually has. That's different.
I'm assuming, I honestly think he's done so much dirty stuff that's just been wiped off the board throughout his entire
I don't think he's
career.
interesting enough of a human being to do dirty shit.
I think he's bored enough though to do dirty shit. I think he's impressionable.
That is a problem with rich people. Rich people get bored enough to do shitty things.
Yes. Yes.
Was that Diddy's problem, or was he always that way?
I think he was always that way. That's a whole different tree branch.
Let me hit play.
LeBron is dragging this process out because he loves the attention and also because he knows none of the teams he could sign with will be able to compete in the playoffs.
This will be his 24th season in the NBA for the 41-year-old James. And standing by once more is our Shams Charania here in Vegas. So, Shams, what's the latest in this process?
It's a good thing I have a very strong stomach because this is nauseating. And hey, I'll give another shameless plug because it seems to work. I'm reading Supers. Guys, if you can afford anything, put it in the Supers. I'll have Speem scour the sewer known as the non-Supers. Man, that was mean.
Yeah, that was pretty mean.
Well, this is 3 hours of both of us drinking and doing a live show. You're not in the sewers, but StreamYard is so hard to operate that I'm sticking just to reading the Supers. And rightfully so. We're giving 3 hours of our Sunday. You can give us something. Now I sound like LeBron James doing the pity campaign. What do you think of Hannah Storm and Shams? What do you think of Shams? How did Shams ever receive this title of NBA Insider? What did he do to deserve that? Is he actually out there like doing something sneaky or amazing as a journalist in order to be an insider? Or how do you become an NBA insider?
I think Shams, I think he does hustle. I think there's no question about that. However, he is clear.
What's that mean?
Clutch. I think so. Whenever Stephen A talks about him and his sources, right? Like I think Shams does. I think he's in the players' ears. I think they do talk to him, but he's a known Klutch shill, and he's got financial backing.
But you just said people talking to him is hustling.
Yes,
I have a problem with that.
Well, explain.
How's that hustling? It's receiving information. Because of a privileged position.
That's interesting. Well, so then let me answer your question with another question. What, in your opinion, is the right way to do what Shams does?
I have a better answer. You shouldn't be. This shouldn't be what NBA fans are fucking thinking about or worrying about. We should be watching athletes compete. And that's enough of a story. What happens on the court or on the football field is enough of a fucking story.
You say that, AOH, but we're living in times where less than a week ago, a breaking story was considered that LeBron James and Draymond Green were hanging out.
Yes. Things have changed. Things are bad.
Yeah.
But giving credence to Shams for being a part of that doesn't help right the ship.
I don't know if you can right the ship though, because
we're way gone.
That's what I'm saying.
The ship is upside down. We're pretending it's not.
Shout out to Anthony Sanchez 09. I was trying to think of Wojnarowski. Woj was the original, like breaking story guy, and then him.
Went back. He just disappeared without fanfare.
It would be an interesting story to see.
Did he say something about LeBron James?
Well, that's what I was saying. He must have just not been as LeBron centric as ESPN wanted him to be, because he fell off the earth.
And a reminder to people to support poor Ric Bucher, someone who's trying to tell the truth.
Seriously, get his audience scores up.
Get his audience scores up.
The poor guy has to do the podcast out of a hotel room while all these other morons get these professional studios. And that's the other thing. And I mentioned this in a video last week. The unprofessionalism of these podcasts is getting ridiculous. They're just Zoom meetings where players
don't prep at all. They don't prep. They don't know how to pronounce the players' names. They don't know what
they're wearing hoodies. Or in Kendrick Perkins' case, just a shirt that's not buttoned properly, that's got grease stains on it. They're just the most unperfect. And these are the ones that we're listening to.
Mr. Shanny with another super. Thank you, sir. You have been quite diligent with your supers today and other shows. The Basketball Show has done a video about how scams got his position. Okay, I'll have to go look that up. I didn't watch that one. Thank you for the super. So look at Hannah Storm coming out of obscurity. Am I going too far to be well, look at these other people who came out of obscurity and also just so happen to be LeBron James ass suckers?
Or also, how about the ones that remain relevant and do the exact same thing? See Kendrick
or those who don't remain relevant, like Bucher, who gets sent to the shadow realm because they actually dared to speak the truth or talk about the sport itself. God forbid. God forbid.
Is there a scenario? Is there a reality where no team signs him and we have a LeBron free season next year?
That's such a enticing fantasy that the enticingness of it alone tells me don't bother. I think based on history, and even the LeBron James camp will tell you how he's calculated and already knows what he's doing. I really think that he knew what team he was going to a year ago. Well, actually, I think it's a very strong possibility. I don't know, but it's enough of a warning that I can't be excited like everybody else that he's homeless and that this is all an insecurity for him. The LeBron James camp constantly talking about the fact that everybody wants him to compensate for the fact that nobody wants him. It's sensible, it's logical, and yet it defies history. That's the problem. It defies history.
Well, listen, he'll be the first 42-year-old, whatever, to sit out a season because he wanted to spend more time. You know what it'll be? He will want to support Bronny on his journey as an NBA player. So he'll take this season to sit out and sit as in an advisory role with the Lakers.
Yeah, and all the LeBron fans that say that Jordan quit when he retired on top won't apply that same criticism to LeBron when LeBron couldn't get signed.
And they'll go even harder. They'll say, Jordan, he'll show up with his yellow eyes and his son is a crackhead and he was a poor father and all this. Like that's what they'll do.
Jordan never used his children as pawns.
No.
I don't know anything else, but I know he didn't do that.
Hannah, all of the information so far is funneled through agent Rich Paul with LeBron James. And so they've been in a process.
Is that not enough of a warning?
he just looks so lost. Just like, does that look like he looks like a broken human being, doesn't he?
Nice. He looks like a typical human being, which is the same thing.
Of gathering information.
Look how this dude just talks in circles, providing no actual details about anything. Every day they come on air and just regurgitate the exact same thing over and over.
And one interesting wrinkle that has occurred in the last several days is some of the leading suitors for LeBron James, whether that's a Golden State, a Cleveland, Miami.
Why do they say A as if there's multiple versions of Golden State? There's a bunch of Golden States out there.
I didn't pick up on that, so you just said it.
A lot of people do that.
It's very manipulative.
And there's no other team similar. The situation isn't even similar.
Minnesota, Philadelphia. Some of them have been able to send a voice note to LeBron James.
Hey, did he say a voice note?
Yeah,
he did say a voice note.
He did, but Gary's about to play a joke voice note.
Oh, okay.
And we'll get to that. But can we hear one of these voice notes? What the fuck are you talking about? They sent him a voice note. Since when does what? When did that become a voice note
ever? A voice note.
I have, but that's beside the point. When did it become a thing? Oh, I'm not going to meet with you. I'll send you a voice note. Are we ever going to be able to verify this? Just like all the phone calls that Rich Paul receives that we've never verified.
They must have sent him a voice note when they wrote the N-word on his house.
I wonder, because you in particular are convinced that which is it, that it didn't happen at all, or that LeBron did it himself?
I'm of the opinion that it didn't happen at all.
Okay, I wonder if we were to go to that route, if that wasn't to counter the fact that they vandalized the billboard of him when he was coming there, because they didn't want him there. They didn't want him there.
Oh, I never thought
and therefore LeBron James jumped on the bandwagon of he's being hated on and tried to make it racial rather than sports based. Like we don't want you here based on sports, not race.
Well, listen, and again, we're living in times where these guys are shameless enough to, again, use God as a reason as to why they win or lose. You think they're going to be? You think using race is above reproach?
The United Democratic Church of LeBron.
Yes, exactly.
King, we would really love for you to sign on with us. The way you take every couple games off, don't hustle on defense, and melt down in the fourth quarter is exactly what we've been missing. So please consider joining us so that we can make it all the way to the second round in the 2027 playoffs.
And it's just basketball.
This is just a...
No lies detected.
Look at
If
this.
I were...
Look at this list, AOH.
Well, according to Rich Paul, there should be 27 fucking teams up there.
I mean, when do you call a hoe, right? Like you're just opening up your legs to the entire league. And are any of these teams that you see here, any team, like think about it. If he goes to the Warriors, what's the story in that? If he goes to the Cavs, okay, you went home. Still Donovan Mitchell's team. If you go to the Heat, okay, well, now you couple it up with Giannis, another generational all-time big. You go to the Wolves. You think Ant-Man is going to want to deal with your shit? The Adidas front man athlete. You think the Timberwolves are going to cave to your demands? No. The Sixers. Nobody cares about the Sixers. Nobody cares about Philadelphia, the city, unfortunately. None of these are a good story for a dude who's built his entire career on story. That's why this entire process is a waste of time.
Why are you still off camera? Are you that hammered?
No, I'm cooking. Oh, you want to watch me cook?
LeBron James' process of studying as he makes a decision. He has not been in a rush. There's been no timetable that he's been operating under. I'm told there's been a lot of family time, friends time.
Has anyone seen any family time? Because they post a lot of LeBron shit. I ain't seen him spend any time with his family.
So we're supposed to believe LeBron is just relaxed with family and friends right now. Yeah, not buying it. LeBron is stressing the F out right now because he's a control freak who was always able to dictate where he wanted to go before. But now for the first time in his career has lost control where to take his talents for a cheap championship. And he knows that the options available to him are a dead-end street. That's why this is taking so long.
Golf, of course, over the last couple of weeks, the last two he's spent in the Akron, Ohio
area, including with one of his close friends that he grew up with in Brandon Williams, who's now one of the leading executives of the Cleveland Cavaliers under President Kobe Altman. So the process continues, and it's unclear whether Cleveland or Miami have been among the teams that sent a voice note to LeBron.
Via Rich Paul. Again, they kind of...
It's embarrassing. He played golf.
Don't need to. They already had him in their buildings in the recent past.
Look at how awkward this panel is.
Who is that embarrassing excuse for a specimen on the left?
I see Danny Green. I don't know who that is. The guy that looks like Dilbert?
Sure.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
No, it's not.
She wasn't even paying attention. No one cares how LeBron spends his leisure time. If he's in Akron playing golf or checking voice messages by Rich Paul. No one cares. This panel is just paid to pretend like they care. That's why ESPN is so annoying.
Shams, we appreciate your attention to detail is just unlike any other.
What was the detail?
The only details I got is that LeBron likes golf.
Or pretends to like golf.
Or pretends to like golf, yeah. Danny Green, another shell of a man.
Yeah, for sure. And another victim of LeBron James.
He'll always be known for missing that three at the top of the key.
Do you know how many LeBron missing threes at the top of the key I could show you without even trying?
Yeah, but strive for greatness.
You have unearthed that, Shams Charania. Thank you so much. We'll check.
He unearthed a dude playing golf in front of the world? Great work, Shams.
The golf thing's weird, AOH. It's
unearthing weird. Public information? Christ. The only thing that separates Shams Charania from anyone else at the golf course with a smartphone is nothing.
Back with you.
How does she know how detailed Shams was when she wasn't even listening? She wasn't even listening. All this fake enthusiasm for LeBron is just nauseating.
What in the world? Okay, front office, man. I mean, can you imagine?
Well, I'll say this.
Who the fuck is this embarrassing?
I told you
excuse
it's Gilbert.
Yeah.
2010, when we met with LeBron, we rolled in Jay-Z. So we've
Yeah, I'm so sure she's a huge Jay-Z fan. See how phony these people are?
So you're telling me that we have all these executives bringing their phones out?
I can't stand her. I'm sorry, I can't.
So I enjoy watching her. I'm a big fan of that.
You think she's attractive? Is that what you're saying?
A 1,000%. There's no question. But then she talks, and then I'm all out.
There's nothing of. How would you know if she's attractive? Like her entire face is fake.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, sure.
Waiting for voice notes. Even of the
Look at how phony Hannah Storm is being.
Yeah, disgusting. Disgusting.
Look at this. Ain't no way a grown woman is that excited about what team LeBron goes to in year 24.
The elder generation and say, hey, LeBron,
hey,
come
real quick,
to my
shout out to physics music. Yes, physics gets it. That's a conversation for a different day. If you stand up and spin around AOH, you'll understand why I think she's attractive.
Well, just read it.
It says she got a thing back there. She has a body. She's built very well. She's built very constructively.
Okay, a lot of people do. They don't get to have a mouthpiece.
You know I'm just going to call you racist.
Huh?
You know I'm just going to call you racist, right?
Well, you can, but not then.
Well, put Ramona Shelburne back up there.
Oh. Ramona doesn't have a thing back there. Ramona.
No, that's my point.
She is a thing. Ramona's just a fucking blob. The fact that you're a gigantic, disgusting human being doesn't mean you have booty. So sick of gigantic, disgusting blob humans being credited as having booty.
Oh, that's funny.
That's not having a booty.
Oh, that's funny.
You got a gigantic fucking fat blob girlfriend. That's all there is to it. Don't pretend that you found some juicy piece. She's fucking gross.
Funny.
It's 126. You know what? I love it.
I love it, man.
Now it's Danny Green's turn to be fake.
I love that he's taking his time. Obviously, I want him to see where he's going. Teams would love to see where he's going. He's enjoying his.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Beerus isn't here because this is actual basketball talk. A lot of teams are actually in summer camp. A lot of teams are already developing chemistry. He loves that LeBron is not doing that. You piece of shit. Who, as a basketball fan, loves that an asshole based on his narcissism is holding out on teams and their ability to prepare for the next season? Who loves that? What's lovable about that?
Danny Green, did he retire? What happened to him?
I mean, he played for LeBron. It's all downhill after that. He was top of the world with the Raptors, and then he went to Lakers and got absolutely destroyed.
Family's enjoying his golf. He's letting Rich do his job. But this does seem a little extreme.
Yes, that is how these guys really feel about this whole drawn-out so-called process.
This does seem a little extreme.
Danny's played in the NBA and knows how ridiculous this LeBron fiasco is, but...
What's with the overreactions by everybody? I mean, the mouths on these two women, this one and Hannah Storm, they look like they're ready to swallow a soccer ball.
It's performative. That's all it is. It's an act. It's
But at least respond to something. He didn't say anything.
Well, AOH, it's no different than like when Stephen A is on TV, like how they all laugh at each other's jokes when everybody.
LeBron,
it's not
Stephen
funny.
A is a bitch. Stephen A is a performative bitch.
Yes.
Of course, he can't say how he really feels if he wants to keep his job at ESPN. So watch how he joins the LeBron bootlicking party.
But when you're the king, you get away with a lot. You can do whatever you want. But when you're the king, you get away with a lot. You can do whatever you want. You can do.
It's interesting that that can be interpreted as joining the party. I would consider that actually outing LeBron if you have any interest in sports integrity whatsoever. Hey, when you're LeBron, nothing matters. Integrity doesn't matter. Sports doesn't matter. Competition doesn't matter. The franchise doesn't matter. Winning doesn't matter until you pretend that winning does matter. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon since we're going on 3 hours. Those of you who would like to get some supers up on the screen and have us respond to them, let's get supers in the next couple of minutes. Speam's going to pass out. I'm just getting ready for my next round of workouts, but see, Speam doesn't even have enough to respond with
Well,
smart ass.
I'm trying to read. I'm trying to read through these, and I'm not gonna just gonna move past it because you can do better than that. I want to say shout out real quick to Mac Bain. I'm guessing I don't know 1, 2, 3, 4. It's good to be the king. History of the World Part 1. A great movie, great quote. Unfortunately, that's part of the problem. To your point, AOH, Danny Green just said all this crazy stuff. If you dress it up any other way, it's disgusting, right? But if you say, "Well, he's the king," yeah. you're doubling down on the disgustingness of it. A and B, you're proving our point.
And it's interesting how the label of the king has become increasingly embraced as time has gone on. He's only had a more despicable career as time has gone on, and yet the label of the king has become increasingly embraced. Whereas I don't even know if the king was ever something that was really embraceable.
AOH, the king, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. As the older LeBron get, the less he could rely on basketball to stay relevant. So as his stats became more and more meaningless, they started calling him the king more and more because it's easier to maintain a narrative than it is an impressive basketball career. So the reason you're going to hear him being called the king, you're going to see him crowning himself all the time because that's the narrative that's being sold. You can't go by his basketball anymore because that's no longer impressive.
That's a good point. It's a fair point.
Whatever you want.
Pathetic.
I just think it's so funny. And I'm wondering what they're saying. And I wonder if they're like scripting out like what they want to say or just saying,
Passing the phone.
please. But anyway, that's great. I love the process.
No, she doesn't love this process. She knows this is a circus.
She seems drunk.
She knows because she worked on NBC in the 90s and witnessed real greatness before her very eyes. But now, since she's on ESPN and they're clearly working with Klutch, now she's forced to be a clown for the circus.
We're going to play a little poker right now. We're going to go all in for the king.
And now...
Can we go dark enough to just talk about the human race's willingness to sacrifice everything for $1?
I thought that was obvious at this point.
Yeah, that's probably a separate show because that's pretty dark. But we see it on television and it encourages everybody to be a more hollow piece of shit chasing the dollar scumbag.
Now they're about to glaze LeBron even more.
Danny.
Yes.
You have a poker hand. We're talking Sixers. What hand do you think they have?
They have a full house. And speaking of the process is now
there you go.
with the big JB, you got the big 7 there now. You got BJ Edgecombe with the 2 7s. So we got 3 7s on board. Those who can't see right now, sorry.
There you
got
go.
3 sevens, and if you bring the king,
yeah,
you got 2 kings. So that's
I love it.
You obviously got Tyrese Maxey, you got Joel Embiid. This is a really good set roster, especially when Joel is healthy. You add LeBron James to that, this is an unbelievable hand that you could not, it's hard to beat.
Yes, this 76ers lineup would actually be able to make a deep playoff run. But take Joel Embiid out of the lineup when he gets injured, as he inevitably will, and then you're stuck with 4 guys who need the ball in their hands to be effective, and there will be a huge lack of team chemistry. So this lineup only works if Joel is healthy, and there's no reason to believe that he will be healthy in the playoffs. But if Joel is healthy, the 76ers would actually be better off without LeBron, because LeBron's presence would only be in the way of the other guys. Therefore, LeBron would not be a good fit for Philly.
This is one that's hard to beat.
Yeah, and Shams reported that it was a Brad.
By the way, that's the same reason he wasn't a good fit in LA. He gets in the way of people. Lakers perform better without LeBron. That's just the facts, period.
So what I know we have to go, but what's even more embarrassing about that is Danny Green's a professional athlete, right? He's a professional 3-point shooter. He should know everything about spacing, okay? And he said it off the top. Embiid, if he's healthy. Embiid's not healthy ever. That's A. B, how does LeBron James on a team with Joel Embiid, who is a paint presence, help that team? How does he help a Tyrese Maxey, who was in and out of the paint the entire time? How does he help that team? I mean, what are we talking about here?
I don't know. LeBron.
Jaylen Brown still can't dribble with his left.
Look, just say LeBron always makes the right decision and something about basketball IQ, and don't back it up.
He's a great father. Great golfer.
Do you have a solid projection? Do you think that LeBron James is in fact going to Cleveland and it's always been Cleveland, or do you think he's waiting for whatever opportunity there is?
I really see him in Miami. I don't care what anybody says. I really see.
And is that going to be a last minute thing, or do you think that's already decided?
I think that's already decided. I think when Giannis went, I think that was between him and Bam. Because Bam, so it just a little bit also just to consider, Bam Adebayo is signed by Jordan Brand. Okay, so that's Nike. Giannis has the 3rd highest selling Nike sneaker of all time. Okay, so I'm thinking this is a branding thing as well. I think he'll be taken care of there. I think Pat Riley announcing that he's coming back. I just see him in Miami. His wife talking about how much she loved it there. And it's going to be, again, stacking the deck. You know, Bam just scored 83 of the most fraudulent points ever, but he'll probably never be more relevant than he is right now.
Is the Tyler Hero Bam Adebayo fight anything at all?
I don't. I actually don't pay too much attention to that because I like Tyler Hero, man. He's scrappy. I think I don't know. I'm not putting too much attention into that. I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up being a whole racially charged thing about halfway through next season, just like everything else is.
Well, how could you race it? How could you resist it? One of them is white and one of them is black. You better do a story.
Yeah, I mean, you and I make it work.
You're not black.
See, there it is. There's the screen grab right there. That's the first thing I'm taking to the NAACP right there.
Oh man, 3 hours. We should end it.
I'm good with that. I got medicine I need to take.
Jesus Christ, 3 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah, man. Time flies.
Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Super thank you to everyone who supered. And we'll be back Wednesday with the Hump Day Rants.
Yeah, shout out to Siberius. Glad you got them chickens back in the coop, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Deuces.